Media transmissions from Earth have polluted the Milky Way galaxy with completely unwatchable content. Fearing these signals will spread beyond our galaxy, Captain S and the 01 Legion have headed to Earth to destroy the source of this woke mind virus.
Folks, happy new year, happy 2024. Welcome to the first episode of the 01 stream, and boy, do we have a show for you tonight.
Stephen Hawking's watching people strip on Epstein Island is not a big revelation. I mean, what else is he going to do?
Jacob made that intro. I don't know. I don't know. I'm told it goes with the pink.
With that level of production value, I think you're out of a job now, Cider. I think Jacob can take that one over easily.
Right?
If we were doing the bit, you should have got it like a toothpick and just like threw it into the camera and say, "Hey, Chico,"
and then let it like explode.
Oh, okay. I'll have to remember to get those explosive toothpicks for the next show.
You don't have them at the ready? Come on, they're legal in all 50 states.
Oh, okay. Surprise.
They're perfect for self-defense. Don't get those stupid extendable
you should be like,
batons.
Who's here to watch WCW?
Right.
And who's here to watch the NWO?
I would be back to watch wrestling if they were still doing like tractor like runovers and flipping and hitting people in ambulances like we were watching last week.
Oh yeah, stream. You mean her wrestling needs more attempted murder?
Kinda. Bring back the spike bats and everything. Jump off the cages again. Don't give me these really sissy very obvious like, oh, that table is already ready to. I don't know. It's very obvious or like very not obvious, but like choreographed.
We need more Kane setting people on fire on live television.
Absolutely. We always need more Kane. But folks, aside from our little detour into wrestling talk, I want to welcome everybody to the 01 stream here at Bounding Into Comics. I am your host, Editor-in-Chief Spencer McCooley. I am joined by my friends, my co-hosts, my co-workers, Jacob Smith and Cider Hype. I have no idea if I pointed the right ways, but we would like to welcome you to the first episode of the new year. Welcome to 2024. And unfortunately, folks, it looks like this year is already off on a really bad foot for all the media franchises we love, right? We are 3 days into the new year, and not only do we have some doubling down in Star Wars, but we have Rick Riordan of Percy Jackson fame continuing to justify all of his new political changes.
I've been saying his name very wrong.
Is that his name? I have no idea.
I've been saying it Reardon, as in like butt. So
that might be it. I don't know. I like that one better because it is funnier. So I will go with Reardon. I like that one better. But we have Rick Riordan being ridiculous and just dumb about his Percy Jackson series. And then, of course, we have, as Jacob mentioned at the top, we had a very big news release today that happened in the last 30 minutes. But there's a whole bunch of information surrounding that. We will definitely get into it because it pertains to Hollywood and basically everything we cover here. But before, yes. Oh, whoops. Uh-oh. I clicked the wrong button and I accidentally took him away. But yes, no, Josh again. He is under the weather. Something came up, but he's okay. He's fine. Nothing wrong. But yeah, he can't make it tonight. But
No.
before
Josh said he wasn't sick. He was just busy. That's all. He had to go out and take care of stuff. He lives in a country where, going places.
I thought he said he was under the weather.
Places,
That's actually true. Like when he has to go to the grocery store, he has to go on the on Frodo's quest. He has to get his fellowship together just to make it to the grocery store.
Yeah.
But before we launch into everything tonight, I want to say hello to all of the people in the chat right now. Obviously, topping the list was a DZ3 saying hello, everyone. Hello, DZ. Welcome back, buddy. Always a pleasure to see you. Leslie Tarkin saying hail to all you lovely people. Leslie, we missed you last week. Your absence was definitely noted. RJ McCready says the impending self-deletion of Jimmy Kimmel will hit Hillary hard. Oh, and don't worry, we'll get into it. And Jacob has some thoughts on it, and they're gonna be good. Also seeing that thumbnail of only Gal Gadot played that person. Are we talking about Medusa? It's I actually think the Medusa casting's pretty good. If you watched what was it? The Flash, she was like the TV show. She was Nora Allen, like his daughter from the future. So she's an all right actress. She's at least pretty, right? Like we have Meteor Advocate Timon saying, "Heyo, Spencer, Jacob, Josh, and Cider." Minus Josh, but hey, Timon, nice to see you, buddy. I feel like I haven't seen you in a while. Hey, it's me in HD says, "Man, hail everyone. I'm on time for once." Doesn't matter if you're on time, you're showing up late, or you're watching this in the replay. We're just happy you're here, buddy. Nice to see you again. And then it's true, RJ. I'm holding down the black man. I got to keep him from getting his rightful dues in society.
Literally, physically holding him down.
Well, it's that, and I'm also going to go check all of your past work for oh gosh, what is the term they're using? Like improper citations or whatever that they're doing with the Harvard president, which is such a load of crap.
Mm-hmm. That to find literally something else to throw out there instead of just doing the obvious. Dude,
it's so, and but don't worry, conservatives are weaponizing plagiarism. It's so ridiculous. Hold on. Let me say hi to the eccentric banana, saying hello, folks. Hello, eccentric banana. Nice to see you. Leslie's saying I had family in town last week. Oh, no worries. We're just happy you can make it whenever you can make it. It's always our pleasure, right? But okay, so if you didn't know this, Cider, so the obviously for those who don't know, just a quick kind of backstory to this current event. The current president of Harvard, Claudine Gay, she is a black woman. I think she's a lesbian, but she was
probably a lesbian. Let's be real.
I'm assuming that's why they're going so hard for it. But yeah, like black woman, lesbian. But she was recently found through the efforts of like conservative. I don't even know what you would call them. I don't want to use influencer, but like reporter Chris Rufo. You guys all know Chris Rufo. I don't know what to call him, but I don't want to use influencer because that's a dumb name. But
citizen journalist
works, but I also feel like that's underselling like his role in the ongoing fight. But everybody knows him. Everybody knows the great work he does. He exposes things like Disney's Reimagine Tomorrow campaign and everything coming out of, honestly, like he's been one of the one of the people on the forefront of the Disney Florida fight. So he's a very prominent figure in this entire culture war, but he essentially checked into President Gay or ex-President Gay's like history of like work, right? Like her essays, her theses. And not only did President Gay, I just love saying it. Not only did President Gay
undersell the irony, we were literally just asking if she's a lesbian. Her name is President Gay.
President Gay. But so Rufo and some of the people who work with him, they discovered that not only did she become president with a like staggeringly low number of actually published things, like she's only published something like sub 20 papers when normally somebody in her position publishes upwards of 50 on various subjects in their field. But a lot of them were found to feature, well, we would all know it as plagiarism, right? Just taking something from another paper, changing one word, and then saying, this is my work. So
for the last several decades, we used to call this plagiarism.
We used to call it plagiarism. It used to get you big penalties. It was a big academic no-no. But as soon as it was found in her writings, academia went into defense mode, or at least Harvard did, and they started going, this isn't plagiarism. It's incorrect citations. We're going to, and then they were like, and we'll allow her a chance to go and correct it. But essentially, she doubled down, said I didn't change. She did offer a correction, but it was only to like 2 things, and there were like dozens of more examples. And essentially, this entire fight over her tenure culminated in either last night or this morning. She was removed from, or was she fired or resigned? Either way, she left her position as president of Harvard.
But I think it was one of those please resign or we're going to fire
that's what I think it was too. Yeah, I just wanted to get the formal wording right. Yeah. But in the aftermath of her firing, leaving, whatever, every liberal outlet, every liberal pundit, everybody on Twitter, like the rhetoric was one who wrote, I think it was like the AP wrote it, where it's like conservatives have found a new weapon a new thing to weaponize against like liberalism, plagiarism.
Well, remember a few years ago, the running meme was every time a leftist or a Democrat got caught red-handed, it would always be the reaction to the scandal that would always get the focus. Would be like, conservatives pounce on the story where somebody else clearly does something wrong, but it's the reaction to the story that's the problem here. So
that's what makes this so disingenuous, because did Rufo and them undertake their research of Gay's body of work for political reasons? Probably, understandably, sure. But it still exposed that she did a lot of like wrongdoing, right? So you have other people, even other liberals, going, I got dinged for even having like a title that was too close to a classmate's in college, and she's just getting away with a like $100,000 a year salaried position. Like, it's insane. And yeah, so the defense force came out, and it was like Jacob was saying, it was all what? They changed it. They definitely changed it. It was not that this morning. It was definitely like weaponized. Come on. Where was
probably
it? Can
I find like a Internet Archive if you want to look.
Yeah, it probably is. I just want to because even if you search it on Google, yeah, like all the results, you just do weaponized plagiarism and everything comes back AP, and articles covering the AP. But yeah, so they basically have come out, like Jacob said, and they're doing the reaction to the scandal is the bad thing, right? I don't know if she wrote the song Desperado, but I think that we are still litigating whether she wrote her version of Ice Ice Baby is a different song from Under Pressure. We're still litigating that.
Yeah, mine's just doon. No, right?
And mine's doon.
Yeah, but like literally, this is how the media has been framing and controlling us for many years here. Because you read the first sentence, and then you read the second sentence, and you realize the second sentence has absolutely nothing to do with the first sentence. But it's like, hey, we need to let you guys know that, yeah, okay, so they plagiarized, but it was a conservative that brought it to light. So you guys should be angry at that person over there.
Yep, I noticed this. Notice this. It started since COVID, or at least that's when I noticed it. Is that it's not the crime, it's the person talking about the crime. That's the problem.
Yeah,
I mean, I've noticed this ever since the whole issue with James Gunn. Because remember when James Gunn initially got canceled years ago? You had people like Dave Bautista saying that, James Gunn was targeted by cyber Nazis who revealed those old tweets that he had from several years back. And it was like, that's when we started to have that whole circle of all of a sudden, it's the person who finds out our crimes who's the real problem here, not who
brings it to light.
Yeah,
and like I've
searching NAMBLA and finding
yeah.
James Gunn's name and tweets making jokes about NAMBLA, like pro NAMBLA jokes. That's apparently cyber Nazism, just so you know.
Yeah,
but,
and a concerted effort to take him down for what reason? Like that's the thing.
Let's
they always
say
go,
for the sake
there's a reason to attack, and it's like, what's the reason?
It's goofy hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's say for the sake of argument, I committed murder, right? And then on the headline news, all of a sudden it's like, oh, well, conservatives pounce on this guy who committed murder. It's like they're shifting the focus of the story to something that really doesn't matter. It's like,
yeah, why are you
we used to
guys
call-
so mad about this guy making a murder? You didn't get murdered. Why are you mad about it?
Yeah, it's like, what we like to call in the journalism sphere burying the lead.
Oh, dude, it's burying the lead. It's the most like desperate defense I've ever seen run for anybody, right? Like I saw at least 3 different, I don't know if you would call them journalists, but let's call them personalities, like political personalities on Twitter today, doing the whole, look, she may have plagiarized, but we have to ask ourselves, why is this such a concern now? Why doesn't anybody care about corruption in these institutions like Apple or like Wall Street or whatever? Why are we focusing on this? You have to ask these and it's like, that doesn't matter.
Why do we care all of a sudden that, the president of one of the most elite Ivy League schools in the entire country is guilty of plagiarism? Why is this a big deal now all of a sudden?
And it's also such a big deal because they made it a big deal. That's the entire thing. Like they, like liberals, neoliberals, they always rush to defend, and then when it becomes, like then they get mad at you for the situation having become something. Because if they'd have, if Rufo would have found Gay's stuff and Harvard would have fired her immediately, it would have been in the news. And yes, Rufo could have still taken a victory lap, but it wouldn't have blown up into this. Now everybody in the country, whether you're like actually like in the Ivy League or you're just some like dock worker down in like Louisiana, everybody knows that Harvard is full of crap. And you don't really walk back from that as like a storied institution. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's such a bad move.
the whole pro wrestling angle to the prestige of Harvard has been completely thrown out of the gate over the last couple of decades. So yeah.
Oh, dude. Well, I mean, it's exactly like right here, like what Leslie says, engage, like it's the soft bigotry of low expectations. If it was a white man, he'd be raked over the coals by the MSN. And that's exactly it. That's what Jacob and I were saying. They are running all this defense because of her traits. She's black, she's a woman, she's possibly a lesbian. That we still need to confirm President Gay is lesbian or not. But like that is, to them, that is all that matters. The fact that she exists like that she has those traits rather than anything she does. And it's so, I don't even know I want to say it's like performative, but it's not performative. It's more just sad. It's more just like, how did we get there? And then yes, eccentric banana, she checks all the boxes. I think that's the best way you can sort of put it, or like reason away all of this, right? Let's see, is Claudine gay? That's what I just asked. Okay, no, wait. She is straight. So she is not gay, but she is straight, but she checks all the other boxes. She's black.
That's the most surprising thing about this whole story.
It genuinely is the most surprising part about this story. I am genuinely surprised to find that out. Like,
yeah, I thought that would have been like a slam dunk one right there.
Like when you said the joke earlier, I was like, oh yeah, no, that easily is like, that all has to make sense. And then yes, Leslie, so this is a good point to bring up. She resigned. She keeps her tenure as professor at Harvard and $900K a year salary. So yes, that is the unfortunate reality. Upside for her, downside to the situation is that there she is. And by the way, this photo was taken during the recent hearings where the anti-Semitism on campus hearings where Claudine Gay basically, remember how in all the previous years, if you even mentioned that you liked Trump or something, you were thrown off of campus because you're a disgusting whatever. Well, you can direct that anger at Israel or Jewish people. And according to Claudine Gay, there's context that we have to understand. We have to be careful about that. But
it's the redefinition of it's not bad when we do it. You have to
understand.
You have to understand the nuance when we
always
do it.
That. Like it is always when we do it, it's okay. But yes, Leslie. So she is staying on. She does keep her tenure. She does keep her really big salary. But I actually got it was actually thanks to Chris Rufo that I have this outlook that I'm about to share. He basically said that yes, while she still gets, her money and her position and everything. It was sort of like what I was pointing out. This is a major public blow to Harvard and to all of this DEI garbage. This is a public thing. Everybody's heard about it. It's dominating headlines. It's good ammo for anti-DEI people like all of us to sort of have in our backpack the entire time. Anytime somebody goes, oh, they don't give, they don't treat them by like check boxes or anything, we can just go, blam, Harvard, and you really can't push back against it. So it's what do you call it? It's a physical like stalemate, but it is an ideological, like a huge victory.
Yeah.
That's what I would
it's
say.
Me and HD has a great encapsulation right here. He says, I can hear her saying, I'm not gay. I only have relationships with men. And cue the Ice-T boys. Well, I got news for you.
I got news for you. It means you're gay. That's the best part of that show, by the way, is just anytime Ice-T has to explain, like, oh yeah, that's Wookiee sniz. Kids down at the at the park, like smoke
it's like,
that.
Why do you know that?
Yeah. And it's also just like the most ridiculous thing you've like ever heard of. Like kids will smoke that and start, chopping down trees to throw at each other. They call it logging on. And it's like, what are you talking about?
It's like, then he starts going on a tangent. It's like, yeah, man, that shit's crazy. It's like, how do you know? It's like,
actually, I like this. Raised by Wolf says she's at least half gay. Well, I don't know if that's gay on her mother's side or if that's gay on her father's side. Let's see. Don Cheadle will play her in a movie if they're truly brave. If they are truly, truly brave. Check that out. We have a guest appearance by our good friend C.S. Johnson asking, where is Josh? He is being British somewhere, but she also says, oh, and hi me. So I'm taking that. I love C.S. Johnson.
So we don't get a hi? Is that
no. And I'm moving on before she can give you a chance. I wasn't planning on talking about this, but I think I can make a quick detour. Did either of you guys watch What If? The second season of it?
I think Cider did, didn't you? Yeah.
Oh, you watched parts of it? Cool. Because Volume Dealer has a question. He's asking, can we talk about what a dumpster fire What If devolved into?
And what if Captain Carter saves everything everywhere all the time?
What if Peggy Carter was literally the bestest ever? Like,
yeah.
So my initial thoughts on What If when they made that first season was I didn't really like the animation because it's very like lazily rotoscoped. Some of the stories are interesting, but it's mostly those stories where, and I say this about the general comics and stuff too, it's the benefit of What If is not just giving you a random situation, like what if Nebula decided to join the Guardians or whatever. It's what if this event happened differently, right? Like what if Banner didn't get hit by the bomb and it was Tony Stark instead? What if instead of, failing to save Uncle Ben, Spidey saved Uncle? Like those are the cool kind of situations. And season 1 was a little whatever. It was fine. Nothing really stuck out to me there. I did like the episode where, what is it? Like, what if Earth lost its mightiest heroes, where Hank Pym like puts on the yellow jacket suit and kills all the Avengers because they let Janet die. Like I thought that was a good story. That was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But then we got to season 2 and Cider really sort of hit the nail on the head there, where this really does become the Captain Carter show like excessively so, to the point where I'm wondering, I've seen people on Twitter, like actual hardcore MCU stans who run fan accounts, who do all this stuff, like Scarlet Witch fan accounts and Hulk fan accounts, whatever, Black Panther Shuri fan accounts. All of them are asking, like, why do we keep focusing on her? Who likes this character that much to keep bringing her back to everything?
The legal team.
It is the legal team. It's the legal team. It's the marketing team. And wait, Cider, I think you brought this up and you were countered, but there was a really good point in what you said, because you brought up the idea that to that point, that Marvel is leaning heavy on Captain Carter because they have issues marketing Captain America. And while you got countered on the fact that like, oh, it's not based on copyright, yada yada yada, it's not a licensing idea. I really thought everybody was missing your point that like, yeah, it is a lot safer to market Captain Carter as your main MCU hero in this current year than it is somebody named Captain America, which is completely stupid. Like, I don't agree with it, but I thought you actually hit on something.
They've had a hard time with this. So here's the thing. And again, like it is a copyright thing because Cap, as he originally existed, showed up in the 30s. So they're coming up on the 30s, folks, and they've seen what happens when they hit the wall with Mickey, they hit the wall with Cap. So they have to give that out, right? Now, trademark protects that image. However, the character and its contents go out the window. Okay. So the thing with this, but Captain Carter allows them to protect the attractive parts of Captain America's story, the World War II combat thing, the old world values, the person out of time, the valiant hero that sacrifices for their country, and above all, the compassionate juggernaut.
The disc shield, because that wasn't what he used in that first one, because that was that pointy one that he hit Hitler with.
Right. And so the disc shield that they give as well. So they get all the iconography and all the feel good and all the mojo out of Captain America without all the legal trouble dealing with it. Because even Captain America Sam Wilson is going to have to go the way of the dodo in the 30s. Otherwise, they're going to be advertising other people's Captain America because he doesn't want to be handing out free money. You know that.
No, absolutely not.
So that's why they made a whole season of What If trying to legitimize Captain Carter, because guess who's going to be the big hero in the middle of Secret Wars? You guessed it.
You're totally right.
6'2" Peggy Carter, Haley Atwell, CGI'd head on a bodybuilder.
Yeah, right. They're gonna pull
beating
another
the pants off
Taskmaster.
of Mads Mikkelsen on a volume CGI stage. That's what you're gonna get in Secret War.
Honestly, like we already got a tease of that in Multiverse of Madness, where she was the only hero to really go toe to toe with Scarlet Witch of all people,
which made no sense at all.
Absolutely zero sense. Like, I still hate that scene so much.
Rocket butt
was nice.
That's Britain's ass right there.
That is Britain's ass.
No, you can't make that joke. That's misogynist.
I know we're misogynist now. Right. We've been canceled. But so for those who haven't watched the season, so the list of episodes, I'm just going to read them off. It's really easy. It's what if Nebula joined the Nova Corps? What if Peter Quill attacked Earth's mightiest heroes? What if Happy Hogan saved Christmas? What if Iron Man crashed into the Grandmaster, which is that one leftover episode from last season? What if Captain Carter fought the Hydra Stomper? What if Kaori reshaped the world, which is the introduction of the MCU's like actual first original character, like superhero? And then what if Hela found the 10 rings? And what if the Avengers assembled in 1602? And then what if Strange Supreme intervened? So most of these stories are sort of disconnected from the overall narrative. There's not how in the first season, it was sort of that narrative of, or the overarching story of the Watchers assembling these heroes to stop Ultron, or he's observing these heroes that he'll eventually pull in to fight Ultron, yada, yada, yada. That doesn't really happen here. Instead, what happens is at the end of that episode,
vibranium.
Yeah, it's vibrator.
Sorry, it was eating at me, and I had to answer it. Sorry.
Vibranium, yes. But at the end of the episode where she fights the Hydra Stomper, it's kind of an interesting episode. It flips the Winter Soldier story. So Steve is the Winter Soldier, and she's Cap now. Yada yada yada. It's fine. It's neat. But when it ends, the episode ends with Wanda with Captain Carter being sucked into the world of 1602 by that version of the Scarlet Witch. And she was summoned specifically because the Scarlet Witch cast a spell through the multiverse to find a hero who could stop their world from ending. And that happened to be Captain Carter because of her fighting spirit, yada, 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 right? So here's, like, I don't know where else to interject this complaint, but I really wanted to raise this complaint because it came up when I was watching it. In that episode, when Captain Carter gets to 1602, she has this meeting with the Watcher, and the Watcher pretty much tells her, these universes are doomed. No matter what, like, I have existed forever, and no matter what you do, some universes are just slated. It is really stupid, and it'll get even stupider in a second. But so he basically says that, right? Like, some universes are doomed to die. And then you get Peggy going, well, not if I have anything to say about it, right? And then, of course, because she's Peggy, she's able to defy everything and save the day. What really made me angry about that, and I know they're different teams and different projects or whatever, but that was literally the entire plot of Across the Spider-Verse. And you're telling me that always bugged me about Spider-Verse, was that all of those spiders, like, Miles is the only one to go, hey, maybe we shouldn't be doing this. Maybe we should actually try to save everybody. And
yeah, no. Peter Parker just wants to murder people, dude.
Right. That's what always made me mad, that it wasn't even a moment of Peter being like, we got to try this, Miguel. But here we have Captain Carter not only being like she was given that exact narrative, and it just made me really angry, because it's like, give it to Spider-Man. Spider-Man deserves that.
You haven't even got into Cowrie yet, and how ridiculously OP this character is.
Yes, we'll get to that when we get to that fight, when we get to episode 9, because which is like in 10 seconds. But basically, yeah. So she saves the world of 1602, and after saving the world of 1602, she gets a visit from Strange Supreme, who was the Strange at the end of last season, the one who lost his heart instead of his hands.
Ate all the bad guys in his universe, literally ate them all.
That Doctor Strange shows up, says, Peggy, I need your help. The multiverse is in trouble. And the first thing he does is pit her against Cowrie, who, as I mentioned before, and Cider just mentioned, so she is the first original MCU character, like original, not based on anything, not race swap, gender swap, yada yada. And her power, so she's a Mohawk, like Native American, and her powers essentially the story of her episode is when Odin was fighting, or when Odin got the Tesseract, and he put, instead, like in our world or in our continuity, he puts it in the vault, and it stays there for a while until all the Avengers stuff. But in that episode, he gets it, Surtur invades, and in the fight, Surtur breaks the Tesseract, and it crashes to Earth, but it crashes into a lake somewhere in North America. And this lake starts, if you touch it and you go into it, it sucks you into a different portal where you go into essentially like the Black Panther spirit world, and you get like all these different powers, you get super speed, super senses, super jumping, agility, yada, 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 yada. And so she's kind of like
telekinesis too.
Yes, I forgot about the telekinesis, and that's very important to remember, everybody, is that she has telekinesis, because and to give you a hint of how just overpowered she sort of is, there in the episode when she's first discovering her powers, she's talking to like the residents who live there, and they tell her, come join us in this game that we do for fun. And it's basically chasing a herd of rhinos and trying to get these gem fruits off of their back. So they run up alongside them, they jump over, grab as many as they can, and that's the game. How many can you grab? And I think like at the very beginning, her new friend, he says like, oh yeah, the record is something like 4 or 5. And because she's the greatest with these powers, she just got here today. Huh?
Girl
power, right? But like she oh my god, like I don't even know how to, she's able to like lift up the herd of things, strip every single gem from their back, and has like a feast of them, and just like walks them all back, and she's like, oh yeah, I know how to do this now. She is literally like the bestest ever, and she was just introduced. Like, they cannot help themselves. They don't know how to write good characters.
I'll give you a more succinct. No, I'll give you a more succinct one. Okay. So you remember Thanos, the big guy who's like, oh, I'm going to destroy everything. They have a big problem. They made like a bunch of movies about this guy. Mm-hmm. So he grabs Captain Carter's shield, right? And he's like, I'm gonna screw you now. It's over with. From behind in the shadows, he just turns into dust, and Warmonger, wearing an Infinity Gauntlet armor, steps out from the shadows and he's like, remember me, with his goofy Gen Z haircut. Cowrie looks at Captain Carter. They look at each other like a Scooby-Doo moment. She looks at him, pulls him out of the armor like he's like a little pickle in a jar, just boop, pulls him out of the armor, flings him out of the rest of the show. He's just gone out of the rest of the show.
That was egregious, but that's not even the worst Cowrie moment. So the worst Cowrie moment. So guys, the context of this fight. So Strange gets Captain Carter, says, I need your help to stop this multiverse threat. It turns out to be Cowrie. They fight like superheroes do. They have this moment where Cowrie goes, no, it's Doctor Strange. He's the bad one. And it turns out Doctor Strange has been collecting world universe killers from all across the multiverse to feed them into this like sacrifice engine that would bring back his universe with Christine and everything. So that's, they to fight him, they break out all of these things. So you have 1 million like Infinity Stone versions. Like every character they break out is like fully equipped with an Infinity Stone. It's either like Thanos or Killmonger. There's a Rocket Raccoon. They're all just insanely powerful. And so where the most egregious Cowrie moment comes in is amidst this fight, they Doctor Strange eventually goes like, all right, screw this. Like, I'm done with this. And he just like throws them all off into the engine. And he's like, I'm just going to do my plan now. And while they're all falling, every single universe killer that he collected decides, oh, we should give our weapons and powers to Captain Carter and Cowrie to let them fight back against Strange. So like a version of Hela throws her helmet up and Captain Carter puts it on. Captain Carter gets a suit of armor encrusted with all of the Infinity Stones. There's a like gamma radiated Infinity Stone sword that a version of the Hulk wields that she like grips. A version of Wen Wu throws the 10 rings to her, so she's got those on both of her arms. And it's like, okay, so this is stupid because you're just power scaling for no reason. But then a version of Thor throws Mjolnir up there, and Cowrie is able to lift it with her telekinesis. That's her like final weapon. She like lifts it up and it's completely controllable, completely like flingable, and it doesn't
shoots lightning.
And it shoots, like, she has all of it. She has all the powers, and she's not even like touching it. She's not even worthy. She's just, or maybe she is worthy, and this is how Marvel writes their characters nowadays, right? But to all bangles. That,
yeah.
Yes, the 10 bangles.
Stupid. Clap.
That's exactly sort of what I was going for, Jacob. Is that like, you're not wrong, Volume Dealer. All of the potential they had for this series sort of fell to the wayside in service of this Captain Carter, like, let's make her the best. And it's so on the nose too, because not only do you have Cowrie getting all super powered, but you also have Captain Carter able to wield all of these like items. And that's sort of what I was getting at with power scaling in the MCU. It doesn't exist anymore. Like, and they don't follow their own rules. Because remember when Hulk and Iron Man put on the gems and it was like destroying their body, and it took Hulk an entire bad TV spinoff to get it back? Like, that doesn't happen to Peggy. She just throws it on and cool, let's go. Like, I'm ready to rock. And what happened to Infinity Stones not working outside of their own universes? How come they all work there? And why, why are they being snapped? Why are snaps so localized and easy to pull off? Like the Killmonger thing. He snaps, nothing happens to him. He just goes, Thanos is gone. And it's so on the nose of like, let's make Captain Carter the best ever. It's so bad. That's really, it's like Jacob was saying. It's just really, really unfun to watch.
And I want to explain something too.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Hela the White.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Take it.
So, you probably saw pictures of this. I'm just trying to get one up right now so everybody knows what I'm talking about.
I put off that episode till the very end because it's Shang-Chi related. And I was like, I am not letting myself get tricked into seeing a Simu Liu cameo. And so I had to wait until like all the reviews were out.
So in this What If story, Hela is also still a murderous bitch and goes about doing that as Odin likes her doing that. She's like a pet little garbage disposal for him. And so she pet little weed whacker, and she goes around screwing up the other branches of Yggdrasil. the big tree. Anyway, she gets banished because she wants to keep fighting, and Odin's like, hey, no, we're good. We got everybody's back now, or everybody's all chained up to us. We're good. You don't have to keep fighting. And she wants to keep going. So he takes her helmet, Thor style, and banishes her to Earth. Well, just because she ends up meeting Shang-Chi's dad, Wen-Wu, and they fall in love, and she learns Kung Fu and the meaning of life from him through the Zen master. It's ridiculous. And then Odin shows up and he's like, hey, we got to beat the pants off some people now. Here's your helmet. And she's like, nah, bro, I don't want to conquer people anymore. And he's like, the hell you don't. And she takes his phallic symbol from him, as you can see right here, his staff. And then he gets really worried. And she punishes him and then goes about the business of restoring freedom throughout the 9 realms, or however many there are, right?
Whatever
so she becomes known as Hela the White, the goddess of life. Okay, let that sink in. The goddess of life, Hela, with that getup. Still, they still gave her like this satanic, like deer horn helmet thing. Like, I help life now, despite if I turn my head too quick, I'll probably kill a toddler or two.
Did you see, I know you pointed this out, Cider, because you were like, oh yeah, great, more demonic or more satanic imagery to save the day because of Carter's wearing that helmet. But you saw that final episode. Like, I saw that tweet before the episode and I was like, oh yeah, okay, that's what's happening. And then I was like, oh, well, now they're just straight up fighting Satan. Like Satan, like Doctor Strange turns into giant like Balrog Satan. And I was just like, whoa. Didn't see that one coming.
Well, if you want to go even deeper than that, didn't Doctor Strange actually fight God in like like one of the 70s episodes, 70s like comics, like way back?
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure every superhero at some point has fought like 7 different versions of God.
Speaking of 7 different versions.
Yeah. So remember this lovely photo from last year when people were rightly calling out Disney for saying that, look, you guys clearly want to do a female Avengers movie. That's what you guys are building up because you've replaced essentially all the male superheroes with female counterparts. So it's like, if you guys just want to do an A-Force movie, just do an A-Force movie. It's like, you don't have to pretend like you're doing an Avengers movie and you sneak A-Force on us like you tried to do with Endgame. It's like, if you guys want to do this, then just do this. Because as you see here, this is all characters we've introduced over the last couple of years. We got Captain Carter, we got female Thor, we got Ironheart, She-Hulk, new Black Widow, we have new Hawkeye, new Black Panther, new Doctor Strange. So it's like, if you just want to do A-Force, just do A-Force and stop dicking around and wasting everyone's time. It's like not that hard of a concept.
It's actually impressive how little I care about, like, I start from the left. I start with Captain Carter and I see Captain and I'm like, ugh, whatever. Okay. At least Haley Atwell is like a good actress and she's pretty, eye candy. And then I immediately just lose interest in like everybody after that until I get to Charlize Theron. And that's just because she was in it for like 2 seconds. So it's like, there's possibilities there. Female Thor is dead, but literally when has that ever stopped Marvel? Like, again,
we're in the multiverse saga, baby. No one's dead.
We're at the phase of the MCU where they're taking all the lessons from the comic books, which is react to everything everybody's saying online, bring back all the characters that make it marketable, take in all of these multiverse things.
You just say that, right? So remember in What If now, we've had 2 seasons where Thor is a man. And not just a man.
Is true.
He's Chris Hemsworth bearded, long hair Thor. Not short hair Ragnarok Thor, not fat buddy Thor. We're talking about, rock stock, 2008 Chris Hemsworth. In both seasons of this, they have not entertained for a single second She-Thor. So don't make any mistakes. Disney understands that went over like a fart in church, and they're going to make sure that they just forget. That's why they're doing another Thor movie.
No, it's true.
What more can you talk about with him? Everybody's dead.
Like, I made this reference. It's literally like when you're watching like a wrestling match. Here it is with Thor. This comparing to a wrestling match is like you're watching a match and it's really, really good, and it gets to a point where a guy hits his big finishing move, the crowd's into it, and it goes 1, 2, and then the guy kicks out, and you're like, and then it just goes on for like another 20 minutes. It's like you had the crowd like 20 minutes ago and then you lost him, right? Yep. This is what we've done with Thor. We built up his story arc all throughout, what was it, Ragnarok. We paid it off in Infinity War, and then it was right at the height of Infinity War and just kept going. And then it went from Endgame and it continued to go down. Then we went through Love and Thunder and it went way down the toilet. And it's like, so you had us at the peak, and the peak was literally Thor arriving to save the day at Wakanda. That was the peak. And then
that's what everybody wanted.
Down here from there, and you're still going. So it's
like, and here's how we can like reinforce the fact that female Thor was a giant miss with the like normies and the audiences they wanted her to appeal to. Right? Is that in the comics they didn't do synergy. After, with the movie coming out, they didn't bring in a new female Thor. They didn't give Jane back the Mjolnir. They just kept on going. Female Thor was not a thing in that like 4 or 5 month marketing period for Love and Thunder because they knew nobody liked it. It was a bad idea. It was a bad idea when they did it in the comics. It's a bad idea when they do it in the movies. And yeah, like Leslie said, no one's ever really gone. That's not even just like Star Wars now. Like that is Marvel now. That's everybody is coming back.
Anything related to Disney. It's
honestly,
like if we have to do another Indiana Jones movie where he's 91 years old and he's still alive, we'll do another one in 10 years, damn it.
Or like the Willow series with Warwick Davis. Like that's all they're doing is they try to get you to come in by like, remember Warwick Davis? And then it's like, I do, but I remember when he was in good projects, not a Disney Plus series. Let's see. I saw something. Oh yeah, Jingo's got a cider. It's apparently it's Riordan. So we were born Riordan. Oh no, you're right. I think that means you're right. So, butts ahoy. I would always watch a Steven Seagal movie, Eccentric Banana. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but he did a movie like last year where his one-liner, it doesn't make any sense. It's almost like a parody, but he like does his whole judo like through a hallway thing, and then when he gets to the end room, the like bad guy pops up and he's like, oh, "Who are you?" And Steven Seagal goes, "I'm here to snatch every MF birthday." Like, what does that even mean? And like he says it with like the bad grammar and everything. It's so good. I love it so much. See, he deserves all of the.
There was a time in this country where we thought that Steven Seagal and Ja Rule was basically the low point of Steven Seagal's career, and somehow here we are 20 years later.
He does it for the punani.
He does it for the carrots in Serbia.
Yeah, he does it for his Serbia. He does it for the Serbs.
Serbia.
And then, yeah, DZ, wait. So basically, What If show had devolved into Exiles without the Exiles. It's not even Exiles without the Exiles. It's Exiles if it's only Peggy Carter. That's kind of what it devolved into. And I mean, that's even how they leave off this third season, or the second season, where Strange is beaten, everybody's fine, everything's saved. And the Watcher goes, "Well, Captain, would you like me to take you home?" And she goes, "Well, how about we take the scenic route?" Right. And it's just like, okay, so we're going to keep getting more and more and more of her.
You got to remember, too, what he showed her when he said that. Okay.
It was the world tree. It was
the same world tree that Loki had at the end of Loki, by the way.
They're trying. I mean,
hold on. I'll show it.
No, yeah, definitely show it. But it's definitely them trying to wrap this all back together.
Well, honestly, what it looks like to me is that they are like steering as hard as they can to get Haley Atwell into that like CGI neck down green screen suit as fast as they can before she hits the wall any harder.
And she's already like in her mid-40s now, so I mean, if they're gonna try to make this a franchise, like the time is like already expired. Like
they gotta go.
So this is what I think is they're trying to get like at least the character of Captain Carter into the same realm as the live action shows, because right now she's over here in animation land, over here hanging out with Mickey and Minnie and the rest of them in cartoon land. And that doesn't Roger Rabbit well.
I mean, if you're If you're gonna try to bring back Captain Carter for like Secret Wars, you're gonna be damn near 50 by the time that movie comes out. So I mean, like, what are you doing?
Well, that's if the movie stays on its current like trajectory. Remember,
of 2027.
Right. But with the whole Jonathan Majors thing and the Kang thing, like we have no idea what they're gonna do. I'm betting we're gonna get at least like a 6-month push on everything. There's no way. Unless they just,
they already pushed back everything like a full year. Like everything got pushed back a full year already. So,
well, and you wrote the article about this, right, Spencer? About them saying that Captain Carter and all this was during COVID and BLM protests back in 2020 is when we. No, you didn't. You absolutely were not sitting around watching BLM protests thinking a white British woman is who will save us from this. No. She'll
be our hero.
Yeah,
like, no. It's so to me. Not only did I not believe that, but I sort of took it as like a retroactive marketing attempt. If that makes any sense. Like,
we were thinking about disenfranchised Black people when we created this 6-foot white woman.
Right, because the way they framed it, the producer of What If basically said, in this season of What If, no universes die. Everybody gets a solid resolution. Like Sider just explained, you had a Hela episode where she becomes like a hero, the goddess of life or whatever. In the Peter Quill episode, he arrives on Earth as a kid with all of Ego's powers, but the Avengers are able to get him on their side, yada, yada. Captain Carter saves 1602. And according to the producer...
It's because he gets a crush on Hope. It's because he wants to...
Oh, no, it is all that.
With Hope. That's why.
Good. Give us the next generation of superpowered shrinkers, I guess you could call it. But so the producer basically said the reason, a lot of people were asking, like, what's up with the lack of, actual threats in this season? Nothing really happens. Everything kind of gets resolved. And the producer came out and said, oh, well, we were writing the series during 2020 in the height of COVID, in the height of BLM protests during the presidential election. And we just sort of thought, like our world felt like it was on the brink. These worlds didn't need to feel like it was on the brink. And I don't buy it. I don't buy it for like a second. It just feels too...
Maybe in their bubble, the progressive Hollywood bubble, which is the only like sense of humanity they actually know. Maybe that's what they were thinking. I don't think anyone in the normie land outside of California and New York was even putting those two together in a coherent thought. So,
oh no, absolutely. Like, if she hadn't made this, whether it's a marketing swing or a recollection, whatever it is, if she hadn't said anything about this, I wouldn't have thought about 2020 at all.
You have to keep in mind, 2020 was a stressful year for them because it was all about, oh God, we have to lock everything down. Why is everyone going to the bar on Twitter? Lock everything down, shut it down forever. And then like a few months after that, it was like, oh my God, George Floyd, we need to go down and burn down a Wendy's or something like that. I don't know.
Remember that Wendy's that was closed 2 months ago? We gotta burn it down now.
Get it. Systemic racism.
And then a couple months after that, it was, oh my God, Trump. Can you believe Trump? So yeah, 2020 was a very stressful year for them.
I like that because it's also like, because 2020 we were all we all had to suffer the effects of things like lockdowns and closures. But it's I like that you point out how it was specifically stressful for them because they didn't like limit their... I don't even want to call it concern because that actually sounds nice, but they're like woke scolding. They didn't limit that to like their own house. It was everybody's business had to be their business. And so when you're trying to police like 9 million people on Twitter a day, of course you're going to lose your mind. Of course you're going to like let it impact your writing. But like normal people, and a lot of comments I was seeing while I like, even not to my article, but like to just the season was, without any stakes, nothing really matters. And then, that sort of links back to the everything is super powerful now. Everything gets a happy ending. It's just sort of without conflict, you don't get, those sort of stories that really stick with you. And we know that is sort of like the Hollywood liberal, neoliberal bubble is no conflicts. We don't want conflicts in anything. We can't have conflicts in our stories. We can't have, I don't want to see Spider-Man fighting Dr. Octopus. I want to see them hanging out in a bookstore. Like that's all their like that's what they want to
This
see. This
thing might trigger some repressed memory that I haven't dealt with for the last 15 years, so I don't want to touch up on it.
It's either that or it's like this will remind me of my dad, who I have issues with.
Really, can I ask you though? Because like I think this premise just slid right over the top of everybody here because of just how bizarre it is. But just pause for a minute and think. What does that mean? We didn't want to destroy universes in a cartoon about fictional superheroes because coughing, racial tension, and an election?
Mm-hmm.
How does what?
None of it makes like it doesn't link up at all.
It's literally the Pepe Sylvia meme in real life.
It's all related. No, that's absolutely what they're acting like, because like none of those, nothing even close to those three subjects happens in any of these episodes. Like there's no disease
zombie
stories.
COVID? Was that the thing? Was the zombie one COVID? What?
Apparently that must be what they're going for, because that's the only thing I can think of. Because no disease episodes, no race killing weird episodes, and no
when
president
you take Killmonger
episodes
out of the suit and just flick him out of the show for the rest of the series, I don't think that's helping.
I literally had when he got during that moment, Cider, like my play-by-play was he shows up on screen and I went, of course, like they just can't accept that Killmonger was the bad guy. They have to keep bringing him back. And then he got snapped like a second later, and I was like dumbfounded. I was like, oh, that's not going to play over well for all their circles. What are they doing here?
Yeah, exactly. Like keep him the bad guy. At least he's good at it, But no, they just decided this is how powerful Calorie is. She could just own this guy. He was like the second biggest bad in the last season. It's like,
well, there was also the thing where Doctor Strange was like blasting her with magics, and she was just like, I got this. And it's like, how? Like, I would just show me one training episode, right? Give me one training arc. That's all I'm asking for. Let's see. I saw somebody reply. Yeah, what's up?
A couple of things happening here. First of all, I just want on an office note, I just love the fact that the entire Pepe Sylvia meme just comes from the fact that Charlie couldn't pronounce the state of Pennsylvania.
Yeah. So it's a good episode. I love that episode.
And then the second one is like I haven't seen season 2 of What If yet. I only saw season 1. The only thing that was ever interesting about season 1 for me, the way that it came together, is that it made you realize, wow, Marvel really muffed up the entire like Age of Ultron angle from the jump. It's like, this probably what you guys should have done from the first place, right? You probably should have done an angle where it was Ultron all along and kept it interesting, but you basically blew off. I said you basically like blew off Ultron as a one-off in a movie that was probably the worst Avengers movie to date so far. I think we can safely say. And then it's like, now they're like, okay, well, who do we go to now? It's like, the Kang the Conqueror?
Cool. Aren't you excited about Jonathan Leprechaun Majors?
And now that's dead. So now your big 3 has already blown up in your face. So that who's going to be your next big bad now?
Doctor Doom.
This is the thing, is that they are they're doing this stuff right here, right? To appeal to their left-leaning base.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
That's what this is all about right here. This is to do the whole dog whistle, virtue signal crap that they've been doing since 2016. Or beyond, that's what I know.
Yeah.
So this right here, what you're looking at, like, again, like, I just have to bring your attention back to this. Like, they want to tell you that they didn't want to destroy a zombified Marvel universe because it might make you feel something about coughing, racial tension, or a presidential election. Just how stupid do they? Never mind. I'm sorry. I should have thought that statement.
Like I said, the fact that you have to question it shows.
Yep. Okay. I got me. You got me. Okay. That's 2 strikes. I don't need a third.
Yeah.
So I looked it up right now too, because I was curious. Like, so What If was first announced in the beginning of 2019, like April 2019, the entire series. And then we got season 1 in 2021, but that was, I think there was some like scheduling pushback right there. So like maybe at the tail end of 2020 was when they were working like to finish that. So that's got to play, unless they were working on these seasons in tandem. I don't know. Like how did 2020 play into your production of What If when season 2 wasn't even ready to go at that point? I don't know. It's just I'm with you, Cider. There's just too many holes. It just doesn't make any sense. It's a lot of.
That's the problem. You're trying to make sense.
I know. That's where I always get caught up.
Like Disney lost $120 billion in 2022. Okay, so that's the gross domestic product of an Eastern European country. Okay, that they just burned on all this crap.
Yeah.
But a commenter in the chat here, and I forget which one it was here. I got to jump back over because I was opening up the screen. Was Don't Let Them Burn had a really great idea, and I jumped into the AI generator, and what do you know? He's got a point.
I'd be in.
Point.
I'm in. If you give her that costume, I would be in. But don't throw more lines on it either.
We all know that Disney will. We all know Disney will never have someone this attractive be Kang the Conqueror. This is their
they'll have Max
female.
Passaggio.
No, this will be their female Kang the Conqueror.
Oh yeah,
right here.
Nailed it.
I don't even know who that is.
What's her name? Cynthia Erivo, who's been in a whole bunch of terrible movies.
Yeah. Okay, I do know her. Yeah, she's annoying.
Yeah.
It's a good point.
Yeah, no, you're. I mean, why stop at female Kang? Let's just get Claudia Gay. She's out of a job right now. She could totally step in for Jonathan Majors. Just slots right into that role.
I like how all of our solutions are black people, and we're in no way open to the idea of a Kang being Asian.
It's Disney. We know it's not.
That's
honestly, we're lucky that Disney doesn't hire Billy Porter to be Kang the Conqueror in the next movie. It's like give it a couple more years.
Who is the guy that did the Jackie Chan movies that was really screechy?
Chris Tucker.
Chris Tucker. Make him Kang. That would be great.
I think he's gonna have a little bit of some problems in the near future that he has to take care of before he goes back on the screen.
he may be Doe 107 for all we know, so he might.
And we'll get into it. Don't worry, guys. But let's see. That's what I was saying. Easy looks like a chiss.
He may want to lay low for a while.
But like, here's what. We'll get into it in a little bit because I have something that like a
Little John video. You might want to get low.
But let's see. Yes, okay. Eccentric Banana. You joke, but I think this would ironically be the funniest possible solution. Having Medea play the next female Kang. I would cry.
Tyler Perry as Medea playing Kang the Conqueror.
The layers.
So many layers. You want another box office? You want another box office hit from the black community like Black Panther? Here's your solution. Get Medea in there.
But here's the thing. There's no CGI. Tyler Perry is literally playing all of the Kangs at once.
Yeah.
Just like different wigs and like running around the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's one through shot, but they have a bunch of stuff that he runs behind and gets in another costume.
Just all really like subtle camera tricks, and then you get to the end of the movie and it's just not
fart
subtle
jokes
anymore.
Everywhere. Just wall-to-wall fart jokes.
Our guys in the chat are killing it. One says Fat Panther.
Yeah, I saw that from eccentric Banana. Who is that? Sydney Gabourey or whatever, the chick from Precious. There's your Kang. That'll be your next Kang.
Oh yeah. Or go even further than that, get Jamie Foxx to play Wanda as Kang the Conqueror.
Yes, honestly. I mean, apparently Wanda's coming back in Agatha, so why not introduce her multiverse version? Are you saying only white people can be Scarlet Witch? It's pretty racist of you.
I wanted to bring up something about this too because I forgot.
Bring it up.
The Avengers 16 whatever there that Peggy got pulled into by Witch, Scarlet Witch. That happened. This was the dumbest premise, right? But it's like it's true to comic book stupidity. And I'm not trying to diss comics. There were just a lot of dumb ideas when they were like, crap, we got to come up with something for Captain America to do this week. We didn't think of anything, Jimmy. We've been busy smoking cigars and looking at big titties. What are we going to do? And they
Quote
come up
Stan
with
Lee.
this story where during the conflict with Thanos, Captain America's vibranium shield from Wakanda, like, taps the time stone and creates a proper resonance that sends everybody back in time and fractures the timeline in their own universe. So rather than Kang's multiverse timeline, this own little place over here, this is why it's destined for destruction, is because its timeline is looped back into itself again, like an Ouroboros.
Like on a continual
So it's
thing,
eventually
yeah.
going to collapse. And so this whole thing is like an effort to get Peggy romanced by like a Robin Hood version of Captain America. And it is the dumbest use of Steve Rodgers. And I'm saying this is like he had an evil version where he was a Russian. So
it is really dumb.
It's so dumb. And it's such a forced contrivance to get like, ooh, romantic scene in a wooden tavern. You know, ooh, they're so cute, not understanding each other. It's
but
dumb,
they also
and it
like
was a waste of money, and you know it.
They also use that moment to further like if you also want to look at it, like they're offloading like Steve's personality onto Peggy to get, you know, in service of that like copyright dodging and everything you were talking about, Cider, because in this episode they sort of also established the idea of like, oh, you know, Peggy says it to Steve, like, oh, you know, no matter what happens, like we never get that dance, we never get that timeline. And it's just like, that's Steve's story, or it was until the Russos decided to crap all over it. Like,
I think we've been ducking this reality for quite some time, but we can't deny it anymore. We are in the fan fiction era of entertainment. This is essentially what it is. All of these characters are literally fan fiction characters that some degenerate deviant had on their DeviantArt account like 15 years ago, and they've now brought them all to life. So all this is just the DeviantArt characters without the sex scenes.
He's 100% right. I wrote fan fiction for over 10 years. He knows what he's talking about. That I can't avoid it. I can see like the Archive of Our Own logo all over what
no, not AO3!
Like, fanfiction.net has like painted Phase Dive. You know, Phase 5, Phase Dive.
Yeah.
You know, like when you have Daredevil doing the slut walk home carrying his boots, that is straight out of Archive of Our Own. I'm surprised that Pinkie Pie didn't show up to bring him breakfast and console him about being abandoned by She-Hulk.
And then he would have gotten lunch with Peter Griffin, right? Like, I think that's how that story goes.
Right. And by the end of it, everybody would have been Super Saiyans with Gundams and lightsabers.
But like that is sort of where we are going right now. Who said that? Like right here, yeah, Tumblr plus DeviantArt from Tehillim, and I think that's the best way to put it, because we do know that there is a very odd pipeline, and just like we talk about it all the time, from like weird random TV shows to giant Hollywood productions. And it often comes from your major neoliberal arts majors who had their Tumblr accounts and spent a lot of time on Twitter, Tumblr when in their formative years. So we get, you know, Jessica Gao on She-Hulk. We get Jeff Loveness on everything that he was attached on Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Like it's a weird pipeline, but it does exist, and it's a very real reality that we are in.
I think looking back on it now after this many years, I think closing down Tumblr was probably the biggest mistake we've made as a country in the last decade.
We needed to keep that containment zone open, man. I just send them all back.
Because the thing is, like, they had their own little space, and it's like as long as we like left them over there, they left us alone. But then we shut it down, and then it was just like, oh, they're everywhere now. It's like,
where are they going to come now? Oh, they're going to come here. Crap.
Like sometimes you just need a place for like them to just hang out over there, so that they can keep them away from the rest of society. You know.
Well, yes, absolutely. They should have done that, and we would have been better off for it. But I'm also taken aback by Eccentric Banana's question. What MCU villain could Dylan Mulvaney play? Honestly, Mephisto. I got the right sort of gangly look for Mephisto. There's that like, I don't know if you call it a joke or like funny saying or whatever that goes around, where it's like, the reason humans fear the uncanny valley is because at some point in our evolution we feared things that like looked human but weren't, right?
Mm.
That's like,
or it's all like to call it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. I knew that's what you guys were gonna come back with. But to the point of that, like saying, like, when I see Dylan Mulvaney like smile or like try to emote, it feels like I'm looking at a Skinwalker. Like,
I mean, if you really wanted to piss off the most people possible, you would have him play Emma Frost. Like that would seem like that would set off the most people.
Don't you say that and it's gonna happen. Like, how dare you?
Trans Emma Frost. You know it's gonna happen. It's like,
because they hate boobs, they'll do it. You know it.
And then they hate the male gaze, so that's the only way that
there'll be like a hand of grapes right there. Whole movie.
It's just.
See, this is the thing, is that before you brought up Emma Frost, I was like, no, Apocalypse would be great. Because it's just like, just the antithesis of what you'd expect Apocalypse to be, right? But do up Dylan Mulvaney in the goofy suit, right? But it's the little skinny, girly version, so it has like a little skirt, tootie tutu thing to it.
Oh my god!
And it's
like, I'm imagining, right? like a stage show version of like, you know, in Captain America, the
Vegas dancer girl version.
Yeah, exactly. So he's got the big tubes, but then he's got like the skirt on and the heels, and
they're gonna make Dylan play Black Cat in the Sonyverse.
Oh my gosh! I hate you right now.
How dare
Stop destroying all the boobs from my childhood.
and you know what? And you know what makes me like give that some like credence is the fact that like I can absolutely see them doing that in order to apologize for the fact that in the Spider-Man 2 game that just came out, Black Cat is actually like an attractive character model. Like, she actually looks good. So I can see them going, yeah, sorry about that, guys. We didn't mean to reinforce whatever beauty standards.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one, DZ3. I know it's not Marvel, but her or him or whatever it was from Powerpuff Girls, the devil.
That would actually be perfect for Dylan, honestly.
Right? Like, I was like,
that character
I'm on
has
that.
No like distinguishing features until he's mad, and then he's all like muscly and scary then.
Let's see. No, you're right. Sorry, I tuned out because I was looking at I was looking for a comment.
Girls, let me tell you all about my ladybug.
It's so weird, dude. It's so performative. I hate it. I hate it. Like okay, you should only do this. You should only do this, Eccentric Banana, and make all the Fantastic Four trans if you can name it the Transtastic Four. If you can't do that, just don't even try. Like, I don't even care. Take advantage of the situations or of the bananas you're given or whatever.
They combine like Devastator.
The lemons.
Form a
yes. Conk to make the I don't know. I don't know. Somebody come up with a transformer.
Bye, Jacob.
Bye, Jacob. Wherever you went.
We could destroy Devastator for you after you ruined boobs for half an hour.
Turnabout is fair play.
You wait. Atlanta just got nuked. That's why he's not.
Yeah, right. We just started it off. That was the first salvo.
Skynet. He survived.
Yeah, my whole browser just crashed. Blame the Chinese. That's all I gotta say. So.
Well, we were talking about Devastator being made up of trans. You just laughed, and I was like, "Well, I guess he's your Devastator, right? That's revenge for taking it out the boobs."
Johnson says, "Never let a tragedy go to waste, huh, Spencer? It's not just a tragedy, but a transgedy go to waste."
They just said make Lizzo the new Blob from X-Men. No, like I said, we're trying to make people angry, so you make Lizzo the new Storm from X-Men. They go for it from there.
Psylocke. Make her Psylocke. And tell her she has to do a British accent.
make Lizzo speak in an African accent and make her Storm.
Right. You know who's gonna be Storm? Laverne Cox from Orange is the New Black, the trans actor from that show. There's your new Storm. I guarantee.
I figured it out. The President Gay. They're gonna make her Blade. Remember? Because Marshall Lee wanted out, so they'll make her Blade.
Dude. I think that's perfect casting, and I wish her well on her new career as Bald Blade.
Dude, I tell you, if you get a bunch of normies together and just start turning up Clown World to like an 11 to make it like so obnoxious that even they can't stand it anymore. Like they'll switch back the other way so fucking fast.
Oh yeah, and then one day, right? And then one day for no reason at all, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh
Gosh.
man.
No, because that reminds me too, Jacob, of when you say like you put it on 11 and everybody like wakes up. You said that about your number one worst movie. What the hell is the name? Dick's the Musical or whatever. Where people like even the like neoliberals were like, what are we doing here? Like where have we gone? Who says this?
Disappointed!
You just need to have that clip on loop during this entire segment because this is all just disappointment. RJ says, so she'll be a gay blade.
Yes, that'd be great.
Yes. So Johnson says Stacey Abrams will be president. She's already the president of Earth on Star Trek. Are you talking about the replacement at Harvard? She's also in something else as like a leader or whatever. She made another cameo in a show where they like boosted her profile.
Those are the only elections she can win.
No, you're not. But remember, if you say that Stacey Abrams won, you're not an election denier. I don't know. That's stupid. Like, oh hell yeah! Don't Let Them Burn says Stacey Abrams can play Apocalypse or Darkseid. I'm in for that. Fine. At least we would get some like Apocalypse. Well, I mean, is that not the neoliberal?
No,
mentality?
make her play Wonder Woman, and then put that $300 million budget into her, like trying to CGI her running on a blue screen. That's clearly she can't.
Oh yeah, right. Nubia. Make her into Nubia.
Yeah, there you go. Finally, DC. There you go, James Gunn. We know you have your Themyscira series coming. There's your Nubia. Or, I mean, considering that the character in the comics is already fat and black, you could have her play the trans Amazon that they introduced like 2 years ago. The guy who's like he was born a man and then identifies as a woman, so that allows him or her, whatever, like passage onto Themyscira. It doesn't make any sense, but there you go. There's your in. You can have your in.
The eccentric banana.
Backside.
Yeah, that's
taken up. You would need the 4D screen. Let's see. So with that, do you guys want to? We can either jump over to Star Wars, or we can talk about the Daredevil Echo fight scene, because a couple people have brought that up, but I do know Star Wars is our topic for tonight. So what do you guys want to talk about?
Let's bring up the Echo scene just real quick.
All right.
I feel like we can breeze through this one pretty quickly.
Yeah, we could probably breeze through it and then hit Star Wars. So I'm sure Cider is on it because he always is. He's the best. But in case you guys had any hope for the MCU going into 2024, we had a preview over the New Year holiday, courtesy of our friends over in Europe. There was a sneak preview at a fight between between Daredevil and Echo in the upcoming Echo series that we are all excited for. And it does not look great by any measure. I think Cider has it whenever he's ready. It's cooked. Yes, our little subscribe button. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, guys. So it's not the full scene. It's a little clip of it, but it's not looking hot. Like,
well, I was hoping it wasn't the finished scene either. I was hoping that there was like some post-production that was going to go into this.
Like this was somebody's like on-set iPhone recording of what they were doing.
Literally, like watching this, and then you'll see like the exact moments here. It looks like they're doing the rehearsal for the scene. Like, they're walking through the steps before the bitch is like, hey, you punch me here, then I'll move to the left, and then you try to kick me over here. Then it's like, okay, now let's go. Like.
That was how I walked away from this. Is that I think the term we're looking for is like over choreographed. Like it doesn't feel like obviously all fights are choreographed, but this doesn't feel like you're reacting to the fights. Do you guys remember when we went through the ending scene from Ahsoka with the lightsabers, and we noticed how it was just like, oh yeah, do your Q1, Q2, Q3. That's what this feels like. It doesn't feel like
it feels like a dress rehearsal. It's like you at the end you're expecting like the director to go, okay, so let's start rolling now.
Do it for real this time.
Yeah. Back to one. Roll. This is not a training montage. I believe this is just supposed to be a fight between the two of them. So Yeah, not training at all, because I don't think she trains with Daredevil. But there's also like a point where she gets like kicked and she falls back. I don't know. It looks really bad. You can hit play
7 seconds into this, the fight should be over. So
yeah,
wait. I slowed it down.
Like okay, and for good reason. Like, look at those hits. They don't look like hits. They definitely look like.
Well, like I said, how do you watch this and go, okay, he clearly missed her by a mile. Maybe we should go to like another angle or try to clean that up because it looks faker than WWE. So
it does. It looks like kids making a WWE like fan video.
Mm-hmm. By the way, just real quick before you play, before you get to the Insider's point, I just want to put this out here. We did a story about several months ago about the stunt guy who was talking about how bad Echo was. This pretty much confirms everything he said was 100% true.
So look at this. This is my same problem that I have with Rosario Dawson holding her lightsaber so that Hayden
could hit it.
Look at her face. This is not the face. Exactly. This is not the face of someone who's an experienced combat anything. This is not the face of someone who's ever been punched in the face.
And like to that point, like you said, 7 seconds at most if she's lucky.
She looks like somebody ran up to her and said, "Give me all your money." And she's like, "Oh my God, please don't hurt
me." Yeah, right. She's trying to remember all the self-defense classes she took instead of buying a gun.
That's my purse. I don't know you.
I don't know you.
So, listen to this though. Okay,
is that a metal clink?
Yes, that was the sound of Daredevil's pipe hitting her skull. Not even Bruce Lee's movies did he shake off a pipe hitting him in the head.
Like a blunt pipe smash to the head. Like
you would expect that sound effect if he was like fighting Superman or Thor, but not like Echo.
Or even if he had hit her leg, like if it was metal on metal, but not when you're going dome to metal. Like absolutely.
By the way, okay.
Clear.
She has no powers other than photogenic memory, meaning she can repeat movement.
No, not anymore. Not here. In the MCU, she now has actual superpowers. Oh my God, I didn't even realize.
So she can take a pipe to the head in the not sex way?
Maybe, because her powers are literally Kaori's powers from What If. She like gets remember in like Avatar, the last Airbender, when Aang would like talk to all the old avatars and they'd be like lined up and he could see them all and he could like draw power from them. That's what she can do, but like with her Native American ancestors. Like that, they made that a plot point in this show, and somebody brought it up here. Where, damn it. Yeah, I can't find it. Oh well. Oh, no. Here it is. Yeah. So Jingo says Echo was supposed to be able to talk, but the MCU wanted DEI casting and hired an actual deaf actress who's an amputee too. So yes, like that is true, but also like to your point where they wanted that DEI casting so bad, that whole thing about Native Americans and being connected to like her heritage and getting powers from her ancestors, that doesn't exist in the comics. It never has existed. She's never said anything like that. So and if you've seen the leaked photos, we've talked about them before, I think, but she gets Echo by the end of the series gets an actual like suit, but it's like an MCU-ified like tribal like dress thing. And
it looks like Kaori's suit.
It looks like Kaori's, but it's just this big red blaring light that's like, do you get it? She's Native American. Do you get it? Oh, snap. Oh, and it's just like, we could have just known that if you just said it. You didn't need to be this.
It's like they need the voiceover go, "Oh, damn, son."
Like, oh, yes, exactly. That is exactly it, Leslie. Echo is all the Native Americans, just like Rey is all the Jedi. That's not even like hyperbole. That is how they frame it in all the like leaks and stuff we've seen.
So she's down.
I hate this because he kicks her and it doesn't connect. That's what I mean when it's like
this
it's
is
all
worse
super
than Kamen
choreographed.
Rider, dude.
Oh, dude, it genuinely is worse than Kamen Rider.
I like Kamen Rider, right?
We both
I'm aware
do,
that those guys are not actually beating the heck out of each other. But his foot is at the maximum length, right? and he's only hitting her jacket. Because why?
Like ruffling it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly. He's only kicking the jacket. You see it? What? There it is.
Plus, it's the whole superhero.
She's already falling back, and the kick. He's not even at the end of his kick.
It's like this is like a superhero kick if like Daredevil actually had like superpowers, but if he's just like a regular guy, if he kicks her in the stomach, she's not gonna go flying back 10 feet.
It's like the anime thing they always do, where it's like you stop your punch right before the person, and then the wind power like takes them out. Like that's what it is. It like, and that's what I mean to the point you said it right there, Cider, where she's already falling at this moment. It's all hit Q1, hit Q2, and she's ready to brace herself. She does this really obvious rollback. Like it doesn't feel like a fight.
I just want to stress this, okay? At no point did we see Trinity roll up onto her shoulders, presenting her butt to the camera, like full on look at my lady taco, showing us, okay? Like this is what they've done to this woman, okay? Like I don't know if she was aware that this was happening.
That this shot was how it's going to be
This
used.
shot was what they captured and committed to the show. Like,
but then again, maybe this is another catastrophic design flaw in the show because they hired a woman who's legitimately deaf, who legitimately cannot communicate normally. So it's like try to put this woman in a position where she has to do fight choreography. It's like with fight choreography, there has to be a lot of timing between the two individuals. So there has to be some kind of correlation between the two. But if she can't communicate with anyone because she's legitimately deaf, that makes it significantly harder for her
a really good
to catch
point.
all the
I didn't even think about that. I didn't even think about that. That's a really
I don't
good
think
point.
they thought about that either, if we're being honest.
RJ's playing up that joke too. She heard nothing of these rewrites.
Yeah.
Back to him. Now you saw the difference in their size, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You got her with her butt up in the air down here, right? Ooh, look at my butt. And then dun dun dun.
It's like, why is Daredevil beating up this middle school teacher? It doesn't make any sense.
And she comes back at him again.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
See,
look at that right there. Right there, yeah. Oh, man, that was bad.
That's not the only spot in here. You can see her pause waiting for the next hit. Like, their timing on this entire fight is just completely, off.
It's like non-existent.
And here's the thing. You have to understand that this is probably the best footage of this fight they can have. So you can only imagine there's several takes that are far worse than this.
You're totally. I didn't even think about I always forget that there are always more takes.
Mm-hmm.
See, look at all that.
Like,
what was that?
Down.
What even was that supposed to be?
Watch her go down. Watch her slide cancel. Again, like that.
It's like, what are you doing?
It is a slide cancel. What is she doing?
From that distance, she should have just went for a Roman Reigns Superman punch and then had him blocked it. It's like, dude, I'm not even a professional MMA guy, but I can book a better fight scene than this. Like, what are we doing?
Dude, she should have just gone for the leg sweep. She goes her body is going for it, and then she stops to stand up. And then Centric points that out. She moves too slowly. If this were real life, she'd be unconscious. And he knows that we're playing it in slow-mo. But yeah, she is not being fast. She's not active.
Well,
Later to
the thing is, this weird watch this, right? What is he doing releasing the extension-y doodad whip line thing of his pole pointed at the ground like that?
She went down she was getting ready.
I didn't even notice that. Yeah.
She went down as if she was getting ready for a jiu-jitsu battle or something like that, but the fight never goes to the ground.
Take him to the ground. Take him to the mat.
Right. And so I think that they maybe got the wires crossed on this because he's going to swipe at her and she's going down to kick his legs and she stops. Look, she stops from sweeping his leg. It's right there to be swept, but she stops. See? She stops.
I think somebody might have messed up that cue because Daredevil
CGI'd. So they CGI'd.
Daredevil steps back.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, see, they CGI'd the stick. Watch it. Watch the stick. As he comes around, here's the stick, and that's what it was. He was just supposed to swipe over the top of her head.
Oh,
this is their own
weird.
This is their own fault because They
That's
put
really
this woman,
weird.
keep in
What the
mind,
heck?
she's never acted before, like ever. So she hasn't even done like traditional acting. And now she's trying to do like one-on-one, like stunt choreography fights too.
John
So
Wick shit.
she's so
Yeah.
completely unprepared for like her position. I mean, that's basically like putting one of us in like her position right now. It's like we would look like shit too, because we're not trained to do this, and she isn't
Right.
either. But it's their own fault, because there was like, no, we have to be authentic. We have to find someone who's really Native American and really disabled and really deaf and with one leg. And it's like, you made this so much more harder on yourselves because you were trying to be woke and progressive in your casting.
I mean, just the fact that they greenlit this show. We didn't need this show. Nobody needed this show. Well, we did, because this is going to be a great next week on the bar room.
Okay, he knows she
What
has.
even was that?
What is he doing? Is he trying to take it off?
Why does he like hold there for a second, like he's blacksmithing?
And why did she just no sell it? Like, she just got hit in the calf with like a metal pipe. It's like,
no,
she should be like screaming like, ah, like at least sell that you got hurt. Like, that's
her fake leg. So she's not gonna. She might feel the vibration of that collision, but it's not gonna have any like nerve ending.
Okay, that's fair.
That makes more sense. But at the same time, I will say this though: I've known plenty of people with fake legs. If he really did hit her in her fake leg, that thing would not have held together as well.
It would have at least come undone. Yeah.
Right. And most of these have like a turn lock socket, right? So you push it in. There's a spring mechanism. You turn it and lock it. You're in. So he's right there grabbing a hold of her. He's turning that. That could have come right off, and instead he's like, "I'm caveman." Bang, bang.
Like in support of that caveman metaphor, there's all like, it's specifically like, I'm caveman Daredevil, because remember, he has radar sense. He should know that that leg is metal or not real or something. So there is no reason.
This is a cripple fight. That's right. He's blind.
It is a cripple fight. I was saving that joke for the end because I see Eccentric's been making it a lot. But
the blind fighting the deaf.
By
the way, if he was a real villain, he would have taken that fake leg and beat her with it. I mean,
true.
He still should have done that. That would have been awesome.
Okay, what?
That's a weird fight pose.
That kick was terrible. Yeah, go back and play that kick again. Yeah.
Watch her come around for it. One hop, two hops, and three hops to get around to do nothing but pirouette like a ballerina.
See, what happened
was she hold it?
Well, here's the thing. It was supposed to be a clean kick, but he was out of position, so she had to wait for him to get back into position so he can land the kick.
That would explain the third hop too, because she's like, crap.
This is what's blowing my mind. How are you, as like an editor, a director, a producer, watching this and not going, we can't put that in the show? Like, we can't put that in the show.
I have to believe there might have been some truth to that rumor where it was like they can't, because remember, Echo was canned at one point. They were like, we're not doing it. It's over. And the rumors were that it was just bad. It was not quite Batgirl's level of Batgirl level of brand damaging, but up there. And then we got the strikes, and then we started hearing whispers out of Marvel that, they're gonna bring back Echo because they just need something to fill their gap. And if that is what they did, I can see them going, this is so bad, but we need something, so just throw it out there, right?
Two notes here. Okay, one, keep in mind, we're only 30 seconds into this video, by the way.
17 seconds, Jacob.
17. Even less. Secondly, keep in mind, this is a show that went from 8 episodes down to 6 episodes, down to 5 episodes, down to, we're just going to release it all at once. Like, we're not even going to do the week-to-week release this time.
And it was supposed to be a tie into everything, but it's a spotlight thing. So now you can watch it alone.
So this is what I'm talking about timing. Go back just a little bit again. So we talked about the timing on the kick. Then when she spins around and lands, she stands there because she's waiting for him to throw his punch at her. So it looks very awkward. She's just like standing there waiting for it.
Oh, wow. She like lurches into it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here she is coming around. She's whacked him with the nut kick. And wait. What?
Yep, a definite wait for that.
Watch this. Watch this.
The really hardcore transition shot.
It doesn't hit at all. Look at that gut shot. And look, she's gone. She's
not at all.
She's falling back.
Do you think that this was the moment where they realized we can't do 8 episodes of this? You think like this
no, because they made him, Jacob. They made him. So they kept making them. They didn't stop. That's the thing. So, hold on. Do you think we can get paid to make 8 episodes of this? That's probably what they had. People were like, the camera works so great. I'm like, no, they've literally teleported now. Between that pole, they've moved 3 feet.
Just real quick.
That threw me off when I saw it.
I don't think
teleportation.
I don't think in the history of television we've seen a bigger downgrade from Netflix's Daredevil to Disney Plus's Daredevil. Like,
right there, buddy.
Like this downfall has to be studied in universities.
Well, you also here's another piece of context for that. Remember, there was that scene in the She-Hulk episode with Daredevil. Marvel tried their hand at sort of doing a hallway fight scene, right? It was in that super dark blue hall. It was really bad. Couldn't see anything. It was panned. So this was the moment when they were like, okay, well, let's show them what we can do. And we got this. They're not. Stop making TV shows if you're not going to try.
It's amazing. Really.
This is just
it really is.
This is just a textbook example of nobody thought this through.
Okay, he's got her. He's throwing her.
Mm-hmm. And let's her go. Kicks her into the camera.
Another guy
and then guys come from nowhere.
Yeah. Right, nowhere. Because they at no point during that swooshy swoosh, here he is. Look, we got to go back again, right? Let's zap back to when he was being all spooky and her butt was in the air. Remember?
Yeah.
Look, guys. Where did that guy come from, guys?
There's no door over there.
Is he taking a shit in that stall?
That's literally all I can think of. He has to be hiding in that stall for that shot. That's insane.
So now we bring this up. Now we bring this other guy in because there has to be a break in the action. We have to get someone who actually is somewhat experienced in stunt choreography to make the scene look good again. So it's we'll give the inexperienced girl a break and then put the cannon fodder in here so that we can somehow save this whole scene from not looking like complete dog shit.
See, that move right there, to your point, looked a lot better than everything we had seen.
Yeah,
like that grab and that slam and that punch.
Yeah, because like I said, you got a stunt choreographer or a guy stuntman come in who knows what he's doing and knows how to make everything look snug and legit on screen. But of course, we expect the deaf Native American girl with one leg to do the same, and she can't. Like I said, this really isn't her fault.
Insane.
I'm talking about the actions. It's they put her in a situation she was woefully unqualified for. That's the reality of the situation.
They're also doing her Disney dirty like they do everybody else because with all the models they scan into games and all their actresses because and I know this I hate the way this sounds because I know it sounds like it's the classic sexism or whatever, but every photo you see of Echo, she just looks frumpy. She just looks upset, frumpy, blah, blah. But in the pictures on Josh and I went looking for her name's Alkawa Cox or something. We went looking for her Instagram. On her Instagram, she's got normal pictures where she's hanging out with friends and laughing. And when she's smiling, she is an absolutely gorgeous woman. But for some reason in this show, Disney's direction was look like you're holding in a fart on the subway. Yeah. I don't.
You serious?
And I'll push back on eccentric banana just a little bit there, saying that she signed up for it.
Yeah,
though. It's at the same time, yeah, she has absolutely no acting experience whatsoever, and Disney just came to her and said, "Not only we're going to put you on our feature Disney Plus show, we'll give you your own Disney Plus show right after that." It's who wouldn't sign up for that? No experience.
In the sense of just jobs in general, when you get a new job, when somebody says, I want you to come work for me, and you don't know everything, you sort of assume that whoever's hiring you is going to take the time to train you up, to get you ready, to give you that, the practice. But they didn't with her. They just didn't. They just said,
Imagine
go.
That was Harvey Weinstein's selling point, too.
Yeah, right.
Yes, they do, Leslie. Yes, they do. That's what I was getting at.
So now she's going to do that helped everything, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you see that?
Shut the door without a lock. That will stop.
Shut the door. It doesn't even close, right?
Mm-hmm.
Also,
So
like, aren't they not?
why
They're not even like closed at the top. Matt could make that jump easy.
Well, that's the thing is the door's not latched. There's no latch here. Watch, there's no latch. Whatever was meant to hold that shut is there's nothing there.
It's like one of the doors that uses like a bolt lock to close it instead of the latch. Yeah,
and it doesn't even latch. Look, there it is. It's open. She's walking away.
Great.
It's open.
Run!
And
Echo,
now go
run!
get the guns.
See, and look, like he's like totally vaulting over.
Why did he go
right
over
there.
the top? I don't understand. Why do superheroes not use doors? Isn't it
Just go straight in? It's right there.
In that shit.
I mean, from that angle, she should hit him. Like, for being honest with her.
There's no way he gets over that fence before he eats buckshot. There's no way, but he does.
Even if it's a partial buckshot, he's still getting hit.
And even if it was like the most inexperienced gun user in the world, right? Like your wife who doesn't know how to use the guns and there's a home invasion. Like she's hitting Daredevil.
I mean, you could hit anything with a shotgun from like 3 feet away. You don't need experience or marksmanship.
Watch his leap though. Okay, he does like a Mario double jump. Okay, he's up in the air, then he jumps again to go over the fence. A secondary propulsion erupts out of his ankles.
He bing wahoos it.
You know, like Mario.
All because he didn't want to go through the unlocked door.
Right. It's right. It's like that cop video where the cops climbing the fence and then they just push it open.
How? You have to intentionally be like pointing out into the corner to. No,
she's holding it up.
Yeah,
and she's down. Look,
I mean, look, she's holding it away from him, not towards where his body is. So even in the context of the shot, that's a terrible shot.
Like in the vein of the fight choreography, right? Like clearly she's already shot, and he's sort of like the way they choreographed it is that he's supposed to have like been there. The puff goes off, so it looks like he's in the way and he's dodging. But this, because of the timing, it looks like he's trying to like extend his legs to like. Oh crap, like let me make it look like I'm in the shot, right? Like he's
what they should have done is that she runs up to grab the shotgun, and as she turns around, Daredevil's already through the door, and then he grabs the shotgun before she can fire at him, and they're wrestling over the shotgun. That should have been the scene. It's like, and you don't have to be like super choreographed to like make it work and make it look legit.
Well, like also there's this point from Shinkai, like if she's going to shoot, what's the point in closing the door? That, you know, if you just let Daredevil walk in through the door, if he's in a target, like he's not jumping.
It's a chain link fence, and she has a shotgun. Even if she shot through the fence, she would still hit him.
What shotgun shoots like this, by the way, and not like this? Okay,
I know. Yeah,
shotgun shoots like this, not like this, and then goes like that. It doesn't,
especially like a 12 gauge, right?
Right. It's just. I don't understand what they're like. Give her a pistol if this is what the effect you wanted.
Which was right there, like which is on the rack right next to her.
Yeah.
There's so many stupid mistakes that make this a nitpicker's paradise because there's just so many stupid mistakes that are totally unnecessary.
Yeah, Leslie Tarkin says maybe they should hire me.
Sorry, yeah, no. Leslie, they definitely should hire Jacob to choreograph these fights.
I don't know. Maybe it's the fact. Maybe it's the fact that I've watched so much pro wrestling and I know what fake fights look like. That I just like look at this and go, like I can like see like these two guys like training in the ring and be like, nope, that shit's rotten. Get the hell out of my ring.
That's called being a producer, my friend. That's exactly what we need here.
This is clearly trying to do those 1970s, early 80s kung fu movies from Hong Kong. It's clearly trying to do the Jackie Chan inspired stuff, but they can't make it connect because, well, she's dead.
But like you just
the
think that
instructions she's getting are like you know most of them, not all.
And you can't have like light flash signals because that'll come up on film. So
well, look at the light flooding you've got there. What the hell is she supposed to do? You got
what is
like
she supposed to
you
look
just
at?
think that on a multitude of levels. Like if you're a good writer, a good director, a good choreographer, whatever the case may be, and you know that you have someone who is physically limited for whatever the reason is, it's like a good writer will be like, okay, we can't do this, this, and this with this person. Let's try to work around, you know, their weaknesses, and that way we don't like highlight the fact that you know they're inexperienced. Like let's do the fight scene like this instead of doing it like this. That way we can still make it look good and make it passable on television, and we have to like expose the fact that we hired someone completely inexperienced.
But Jacob, that would require admitting like biology limitations, and that's not what they do over there.
Nope, why not?
But no, like go back like 2 seconds. He does not connect that kick. It's supposed to be a super hardcore like drop kick on her. It doesn't touch anything.
And there was a sound effect. There's a sound effect, and the kick lands like 5 feet away from her.
Yep.
Yeah, right there. And then
they literally added the sound effect, and the kick never like. Here's the thing: you don't have to add the sound effect when it clearly doesn't land. Right. He could have just missed the kick. Like,
but then you set up our brains to go, "Where's the connection?" And then we go, "Oh, it's not there."
And your brain's like, "Who dropped a pound of hamburger on the floor? What was that?"
Beautiful ADRing.
What?
There. That was bad.
Whoa.
That was really bad.
Was so dumb. He's like, I need him a second here. Give me a second. I need a break. All right. Okay, now you can hit me. It's just
and another thing that's not helping her facials looks like she's just cry fighting throughout this entire like scene.
She always looks like she's cry fighting. She doesn't have like a fighter face. Or at least they didn't like train her to have a fighting face.
Like she doesn't have that presence of like someone like when they're in a fight scene. It's like, oh, that guy's going to kill you.
Like
this face.
Yeah, exactly. While he's throwing a punch.
Yes. Excuse me.
Right. But if this guy was, if Daredevil didn't have his little helmet on, I would swear this was a Lifetime original movie.
That's her ex-husband.
Right. Who beat her and gave her cancer.
Like that was the only punch that felt like it had any weight.
And she's back on her feet again.
I know, and it immediately kills it with that. That's what I was gonna say. A sword? Oh, she's using
for whatever reason he has to get away from her because she's swinging a gun through the air at him. Like
clearly she can't fire it. So why are you moving away from her?
He tries the thing again. Gets his gun, which she's holding like this for some reason right now. I don't know why she's holding the shotgun like this, but she is.
Weird, yeah.
And then she goes through the
thing.
It
would be hilarious if she actually...
Oh!
No.
Oh, that was so
bad. That was so bad.
That was Power Rangers bad, dude.
Oh, man, it really was.
Oh, here we go.
That's original, like, Saban Power Rangers footage bad. That's really bad.
I will say this. They had the right idea, but she ran in from the wrong angle. She, like, if she ran in from, like, his left and she did that, he could have sold it to where it looked like he really, like, heard. But, like, she ran in from the wrong angle on that shot, so it just looked bad.
Oh, that's really bad.
Yeah, and so it really just looks like he was struck by the smell of her vagina and was like, oh,
get the Clarisil.
Is that peyote? What is that?
She goes for the stupid ground kick again.
I don't care if you're deaf. Somehow, by the way,
did they really put like a power emphasis on her fake leg? Like, what is happening?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that she somehow overpowered him with the leg that has no muscles in it or like control, like this,
like
it's not
motor or anything.
Like she doesn't have roadie legs.
Right. She just has regular old hospital legs, and that's this is that being like, okay, if you don't know. I used to work with a man who had a prosthetic from a motorcycle accident. He lost his right leg in a motorcycle accident. This man was very good at getting around, but one of his limitations was that the knee was not controllable. You had to swing. You had to swing his what was left of his leg forward, of his thigh and his knee forward, to get the leg to pendulum while he walked. So he was constantly doing that Elvis hip whip, you know. To make the ankle swing out and connect properly so that it followed through like a regular step would. So there's no mechanism for her to push back against him. That should fold like origami, like a lawn chair.
That shouldn't happen there.
How is he having trouble lifting?
How is he struggling? There is no struggle to be had here.
He's fighting like he's up against Kingpin, this 500, 600-pound man, and he can't lift her. Look at it. He's going for the lift. You see this in WWE, WWF. When they go for the lift and they're like, oh, I'm too weak. Oh, I'm too weak. Oh, I got him. That's what this is. Like
it's like when someone tried to pick up like Big Show and they can't because he's like 500 pounds.
Instead of Big Show, it's Britney Spears.
Yeah.
And she throws him.
And she wins that struggle? How is that possible?
She throws him.
Like Leslie brings up a really good point. What kind of man is Daredevil that he allows a 90-pound woman to beat him? Like that's like the MC. It's the entire power scaling problem with the MCU is that the only way they know how to make characters look competent is to bring them up to the scale of somebody else who already exists. But to do so, you just have to hand wave away everything, or you have to make the other person look like an idiot, which is, we've seen Daredevil fight Kingpin, like Cyrus said, we've seen him fight all these Russian mobsters, Gladiator, we've seen him fight the Hand, Elektra, Iron Fist, but no, this is where he gets in trouble. This is against Echo, the unpowered person.
I know where we're shouting this whole thing with like pro wrestling references, but there's a reason why we're making these references. Yeah. The problem is, like I said, you got a 90-pound woman going up against someone who's supposed to be like a professional, like, superhero Street Fighter type character, right? So when you have such a size differential, you have to understand the size differential going into the fight. So think of it as like watching like a Rey Mysterio match. Like Rey Mysterio is only like 5'3", like 170 pounds. So he doesn't fight guys like who are bigger than him, like as if they're even, right? He has to go picking spots. He has to like use his speed because he's faster than those guys. So he has to like chop down the legs and like pick his spots so that it's believable. So it's like, oh yeah, I can actually see him like fighting someone and winning. But if he tried to like fight like Big Show, like it was a one-on-one, like, altercation, nobody would believe it because no one would believe that a guy who's 7 foot would be struggling with a guy who's like 5'3". Like,
look, guys, we got to remember. Leslie Tarkin says, guys, if the actors can hear you, should be very upset. Should be hopping mad.
Hopping up and down, one leg.
So here's the other thing. She throws him so hard,
that he gets to roll back up,
that he rolls back to his feet. On what planet? Is this on Mars or something where like a fifth of Earth's gravity?
I thought she was just going to pick him up and suplex him. Might as well, right?
Would have made more sense in a fight context.
She pitched him across the room and he slides for a second. Watch this. And he slides.
Oh, he totally does. Yeah, his back foot does the like anime slide.
Yeah. So it makes no sense. And here it is. And there it's over. He pulls a shelf down on her. Shelves. Who knew? Echo's only weakness. Shelving.
Oh no. Nicely layered metal bars. Man. Oh, just those unsatisfying hits, the poor fight coordination, the poor production value.
Yeah, this is not the Daredevil that took out like
she's
an
going
entire
into it.
That took out like an entire floor full of baddies in like one shot. This is not the same Daredevil like at all.
This is the fair. No.
Yeah, I really like that. The make it fair devil. And then, yeah, Don't Let Them Burn says, this seems to be the benchmark for Echo. They need to shelve the entire series. Might as well go back to watch Rebel Moon 5 more times, which is worse than Aqua Pagan 2. Yeah, Aquaman sucked, but that's what we were saying. Like, they needed to shelve this series. They needed to pull it back, girl, but they didn't.
You want to know a picture perfect superhero fight? Remember the Punisher movie from 2004 with Thomas Jane?
Yeah.
Remember when he's fighting Kevin Nash, the Russian, in that scene?
They're
fighting in the kitchen, and it's like he's like stabbing him, and he's like just no selling like everything. It's like everything he tries, he just like gets the shit kicked out of him,
and it's like throws him around like the room. That is a really good. I love that fight.
What I love about that is it introduced me to my love of Russian opera. Like, I know that's not a Russian opera playing behind it, but because I went and looked up that song,
right,
I got into Russian opera, and now when I'm cooking, I have to have it on, or else I just can't focus. I don't even know what they're singing about, and that's because of that movie. It's been since then that that's happened to me.
they're singing about like haven't got grain for the week, haven't, must get to the factory line.
Stalin's a good man protecting us from the evil decadent mess. Yes.
And then where was the last point to that is not last point, but Kate said they shouldn't have canceled Agent Carter to begin with. Not that it wouldn't have devolved in insufferable eventually, but it would have been good for another couple of seasons. And I think she's saying that in response to like, why are they giving Echo a show with the DEI hiring and stuff? And it's true. Like, I do think if they'd have just stuck with it, Captain Carter would have been a little better. But that was the age where Marvel was scared of taking like any risk, right? Because like Carter started doing bad, they canned it. Inhumans did really bad, they immediately canned it. But nowadays it's like, oh, you're doing bad, they're gonna love it anyway. We'll get that. We're gonna have Twitter make a special hashtag emoji that'll go up on your tweets.
I think the reason why is because I guess for like ABC is probably more expensive to have that ad time on there than it is for their own Disney Plus show. But then again, Disney Plus is losing billions of dollars too. So I mean, I don't think it really matters.
They need the help. Mm-hmm. And then Leslie asks, why were all those loose guns not locked in a secure gun cabinet or chest? I presume it's just because they're bad guys and it's just like Russian or like arms dealing or whatever, even though they're in like a high school gym. Genuinely couldn't tell you, but that's sort of the context I presumed. Yeah, there you go. Kate says, well said, Jacob. Felsbug says, Kevin Nash was legitimately stabbed by Thomas Jane during filming, and he no-sold the actual stabbing. It's in the movie. That's insane.
Whoa.
And that's, you're not going to get that. Like, not that I would, expect it of Echo's actress, but that's like, you're not getting that level of care and commitment from the production team. Right.
Well, to be fair, Kevin Nash is like 7 foot, like 330 pounds too. So I mean, it's a little bit different for him.
Maybe a knife might not. He might not feel a knife.
Yeah.
I'm sure he felt it, but I'm like you guys have ever whacked your hand with a hammer.
Let's be honest.
Burned for a second. That was it.
If Josh can no sell a stabbing, I'm pretty sure Kevin Nash can too. So.
Sure.
Anything Josh can do, Kevin can do better. What do we got here, Cider?
This is Jimmy Kimmel.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's go on to that topic. And Jacob, I will let you guide us through this because I don't know the entire context.
So basically, Aaron Rodgers, who's the quarterback of the New York Jets, I think he played all of like 2 plays for the Jets this season. So he's still a Jets quarterback.
One of my, I know we're like 2 seconds into the story, but like one of my favorite pieces of trivia from that incident when he broke his ankle in week 2. Mm-hmm. What like FanDuels or sports, like one of those booking like sports bettors online had one of their promotions where it was like, if Aaron Rodgers throws 5 yards, all new users get like $100 in bonus cash or whatever. The easiest thing ever didn't happen because he broke his ankle. So funny. Anyway, yeah, keep going.
So he went on Pat McAfee show. Obviously, this was yesterday. And they were talking about, I think AJ Hawk brought up like the Epstein list, and Aaron Rodgers just casually brought up Jimmy Kimmel's name as someone who probably doesn't want that list to come out. I think this is the clip here.
Bring it up, Foxy or somebody back there.
Seats on it.
You have Super Bowl 58.
You'll see it.
The emblems put on the screen. And then bring up 57 and 56.
This has something to do with the Epstein list that came out?
Feels like that's supposed to be coming out soon.
Look, this guy's been waiting in his wine cellar. Yeah. I've been waiting in my wine cellar for this thing.
A lot of people, including Jimmy Kimmel, are really hoping that doesn't.
So he.
All right. Obviously,
he underlines
clip from this particular program was run on Jimmy Kimmel's show. Whenever Aaron brought up the list, and then Jimmy mocked him for it. Mm-hmm. Aaron has not forgotten about that, but here we are sitting right in front of that nice bottle of scotch. Mm-hmm. What do you say? I'm waiting to celebrate something.
Oh, yeah.
He's been waiting.
That's the one.
You've been waiting.
Hey, I'll tell you what, if that list comes out, I definitely will be popping some sort of bottle.
Hey, you've been calling for it for a few years now.
So, I mean, that's really the clip right there. Like, that's really like everything. So, going back here, Jimmy Kimmel, who is basically a complete Hollywood sellout in every stretch of the word here. This is a guy who gained popularity on the Man Show, Comedy Central, like 25 years ago, and then he decided he was going to be basically Disney's personal puppet for late night television. Over the last several years, he's turned his late night TV show just a nightly rant against Republicans and Trump, like literally every single night. So Kimmel went after Aaron Rodgers a couple years back when Rodgers refused to get the vaccine, and obviously Kimmel, following his marching orders, spent a lot of time attacking Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers didn't forget about that. So Aaron Rodgers is like, yeah, I wonder if Kimmel's name is on that Epstein list that we're still waiting on here. So Jimmy Kimmel, this was his response, basically saying, dear asshole, for the record, I have not met, flown, visited, or had any contact whatsoever with Epstein, nor you find me on any list other than the clearly phony nonsense soft-brained wackos like yourself can't seem to distinguish from reality. Keep in mind, this is a guy who literally every single night makes his show about hating anyone from the right, but apparently he can dish it, but he can't take it. Your reckless word has put my family in danger, so now his life is in danger because people think that he's on the Epstein list. And then keep it up, and we'll debate the facts further in court. So now apparently he sent a cease and desist to Pat McAfee's show based on Aaron Rodgers' comments. So Pat McAfee had to come out earlier today and essentially apologize for the comments that Aaron Rodgers made on the previous show, because keep in mind, Jimmy Kimmel's show is on ABC, owned by Disney. Pat McAfee has a deal with ESPN, also owned by Disney. So Jimmy essentially went to the higher ups at Disney to make a complaint about Pat McAfee. So Pat McAfee now has to backtrack in order to avoid any kind of possible lawsuit on his end, because apparently you can just get sued by having someone come on your show and say something even though you didn't say it yourself. So the disclaimer didn't help him. So everyone's just like throwing Jimmy under the bus here for being, a whiny little crybaby like he really is in real life. This is the same guy who used like his own daughter's sickness to lampoon something about like healthcare a couple of years ago, and like made that like the focal point of his entire show. So then, after the course of the last couple of hours here on Twitter, here on X, as you have to say, X can give it to you, people have noticed that, hey, Jimmy Kimmel, it seems like your very best friend, one of your good close friends, happens to be Jeffrey Epstein's personal chef at one point. After you went over here and claimed that you had absolutely no connection to Epstein whatsoever, one of your best friends forever was literally his personal chef for years. Now, the guy who was his chef is, of course, denying that, I actually knew like Epstein. Like I just kind of like worked there. Yeah. No, it's like we didn't talk. We weren't really buddies or anything like that. But people are starting to dig up now. It's like, yeah, you went all through this whole thing about saying you were going to sue Aaron Rodgers here. Now, allegedly, there's some stuff circulating about Jimmy Kimmel's and involvement with Epstein. I don't know if that's true or not, the screenshot or whatever. But he did have a personal relationship with a close friend that was his chef. There's plenty of pictures of him with this guy. It's all verified. And then, of course, people are putting the pictures together of him and the Clinton Foundation. We all know Bill Clinton is directly tied to Jeffrey Epstein. So if Kimmel isn't directly tied to Jeffrey Epstein, he sure is directly tied with a lot of people who were directly tied with Jeffrey Epstein. That's all I'm saying. So
here's my read on this situation. It's like, on one hand, I do understand where if you're accused of something that heinous, it can be bad, right? Especially something like Epstein's list. However, in this, Rodgers made that comment as like obviously he's dishing back what Jimmy gave to him, but it's sort of like, again, if Kimmel would have just let this go and not given it any attention and just let the list come out, which for all intents and purposes, like his name is, like Jacob said, he's not directly connected. He's never been named in anything, yada, 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 that we've all seen, that the public has seen. So he could have just let that come out. People would have gone, oh yeah, he's not on it. Oh, well, what was Aaron talking about? Oh, they're feuding over their stupid thing. Whatever. Now, once he doth protest too much, now everybody's giving him attention. Now everybody's looking into it. And it just, I don't know how this is supposed to look good for
You,
him.
you've let the autists, you let the autists at 4chan start digging up some stuff now, and now all of a sudden it's like, hey, you may not have a connection with that guy, but here's a bunch of people you do have a connection with who did have a connection with that guy. So it's like,
and of course, he won't address it. Like, he'll never talk about it on the show. He'll never admit anything.
Fellas,
Wow,
I'm sorry, I hate to cut you off, but those wonderful 4chan autists did exactly what you said, and look at what they found on page 1375.
Oh, really?
Now, is this legit? Because I've seen somebody say that this one isn't legit yet, so I don't know if this is being.
No, it was released just before we went on the air, about 40 minutes before we went on air. I have a link to it. I haven't gone to it myself. The website posted has crashed 3 times. So this is real. The stuff that's coming out is real, and this I went and I've looked at this now 4 times over. This is the same screenshot 4 times over.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Kimmel is
you're directly named in it. And not just as an associate.
Another one.
Yeah, that's not just as like, oh, you were there. That's like you were involved. What were you saying, Jacob? Another what?
Oh, no, here's the photo that they were talking about here. So this is Adam Lang, who apparently was Epstein's former chef at one point. And it goes on to say here that these two have had multiple holidays and trips together. Back in 2009, Lang was handcuffed and placed in the back of a vehicle after an 8-hour stand. Staying at home in his beach in California that Jimmy Kimmel owns, he was arrested for felony criminal threats, allegedly calling 911 saying that he had explosives, assaulted his girlfriend with a rifle. Lang at the time said he was a victim of swatting, but the police disputed that. However, the charges were later dropped after the fact. So there's a whole bunch of other things you can dip in on there. And this is not even mentioning the Podesta emails if you want to get even deeper into that.
Oh, man, if you want to get really deep into that.
Yeah, so like I said, where there's smoke,
in a while.
where there's smoke, there's fire. So
yeah, like
well, if you wanted further proof, here it is. This is a search of the documents outright, all the pages, and here it is.
We're showing you live.
There it is.
As soon as we add it back to the stream.
Yep. Sorry.
Whoop. No worries.
There
I just got ahead of you.
Sorry, I can't make it any bigger.
Kimmel. They're all there.
Yeah, hold on here. I'll get it.
Admitted that he had known Jimmy Kimmel live and Epstein.
So he did a search of his name, and in Exhibit 8, Document 21, Document 161, 605, 26, he is brought up in these ones, and he mostly makes up fake baby names.
Yeah, that's weird.
Apparently, there was a trip.
Well, I mean, look, all Aaron Rodgers has to do is just say that, hey, it was just a joke, bro. That's all he has to say, right? Because Jimmy Kimmel, how many times on his show has he gone out and said lies on his show and defended himself by saying, hey, it's a late night comedy show. I'm just out here making jokes.
He doesn't even, that's the thing, is like Kimmel is far past even trying to pretend he is like a comedian at this point. I think I've told the story on the show before, but a couple weeks ago, my parents had like the TV on and they were like, it was just going and it was YouTube. So, clips are playing, blah, blah, blah. And in there now playing or whatever playlist they were on, a clip of Jimmy Kimmel comes up from like a very recent monologue. And he's not, laughing to the crowd. He's not saying like, oh, hey, so funny thing about this. He's literally standing there with like a scowl on his face. And he's like, so what happened in the Trump case today? Oh, he lied again. You're a stupid dumbass. Like, you're freaking crybaby. Or you think you're gonna get away with it? Shut up. And anybody who supports it felt like your buddy who got like really drunk and is just ranting about something that he's unhappy about, and you're just like, dude, you need to go to bed. Like, this is really sad. That's what he's at now. Like, he's just a full-on TDS machine.
Yeah. Like I said, he sold out, quite literally sold his soul to be Disney's personal propaganda machine. And that's all he is now. It's like nobody even looks at like Jimmy Kimmel fondly from like the Man Show days like anymore. Like nobody even looks back at those days and be like, oh yeah, I miss just this Jimmy Kimmel. He's burned his bridge so far now that nobody even looks back at the past with like good recollection of him. Like that's how much of an enemy he's become. So
like, yeah, does anybody even care about, like, the Man Show seems like one of those shows that should have had a resurgence, but nobody wants to, like old episodes could have come back in our current atmosphere. But with Kimmel attached, you don't want any of that. because
No.
because Kimmel's performative about it too. You like, oh, I made some bad decisions back then. It was inappropriate, and it's just like, go away. Like, why
Yeah,
are
it's
you
like
here?
you, like your whole like shtick on the Man Show was that you were misogynist, you were ogling women, you were making fat jokes, you were dressing up in blackface as Karl Malone, you were doing
Yes.
all the things that your side is totally against now. It's like now you're oh, I'm the show that Robert Downey Jr. comes on when he has a new Marvel project that he wants to talk about. It's like, okay.
Bring back what was his name? Craig something, the old British or like the old Irish dude who had a show.
Is it not Kilborn? Who's the other guy?
No, it's I can see his face. He was nice.
Ferguson.
Like, he was
Ferguson.
Cool. Yes, Craig Ferguson. I liked him. He was the best of those guys. But
and like I said, late night is so dead now. Like even like Leno came out, I think like a year or two ago, and he was like, "Yeah, I can't even watch like late night anymore. It's just like so hateful and like unentertaining." And then for some reason, John Oliver decided he was going to go after Leno for saying that. The guy, keep in mind, who had like the highest ratings out of like everyone for like several years. Like if you compare Leno's ratings to the ratings of today, I think he's still doing like 5 times the numbers that everybody else is doing.
Easy, absolutely easy. Like Leno. What was and is still like a household name. I don't know if many people outside of like 20 to 30-year-olds are going to know John Oliver.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
because
it's not even close.
And Leno said it himself. It was like, yeah, he was such a fan of, you know, that late show format that he respected the show as what it was, which is basically just a comedy show and escapism. And it's like, yeah, we'll poke fun at like politicians every now and then, but it was never from like a hateful perspective. We just wanted to make an entertaining late night show that people could watch. And he did that. And then the second that he left, that's when we started getting like, you know, the
number of new cases is up more than 300% from a year ago. Dr. Fauci said that if hospitals get any more overcrowded, they're going to have to make some very tough choices about who gets an ICU bed. That choice doesn't seem so tough to me. Vaccinated person having a heart attack? Yes, come right on in. We'll take care of you. Unvaccinated guy who gobbled horse goo? Rest in peace, Wheezy.
Yep. So that's your guy.
Garbage.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, that's only like you could find so many like clips like that. He just becomes such a utter like despicable douchebag.
He's the Hollywood marketable mainstream version of like all the Twitter users you see, where they just speak to their echo chamber and go, "Ha, isn't Trump so dumb?" And everybody goes, 900 likes. And that's all he is. Like that's
it just goes to show you just how far he's gone. Because like I said, when his show first started, I think it was like 2003 when it first started. I remember watching like his very first show, and at the time, like he was like, "Hey, you know, I'm the guy from the Man Show, but I'm gonna do kind of a quirky, relatable, you know, every guy type of late night show. I'm not gonna be like Leto or Leto. I'm gonna be something different." And
I remember that. Yeah.
Here we are, 20 years later, and this is exactly what he's become. So
he was like the safe edge. But you know what? I don't think I think we don't have any time for like I'm done with Safe Edge. I'm done with Kimmel. I want him gone. I want him gone, Cider. What can we do about making him gone?
The laser's in position. You ready to fire?
Majin Buu his ass.
There we go. Wow, you have 3 Emmys in for late night. That's a really hard category to win in. That's so sad.
Great. You literally killed the medium of late night comedy. It's like, I hope you're happy.
Like single-handedly. Him and Colbert. RJ says, if Kimmel goes to jail, I worry this results in Brie Larson hosting it more often. Less foot shots anyway. Well, like, it's time for a female late night host, okay?
In all honesty, Kimmel's even more insufferable than Colbert, because at least with Colbert, you can just tell he's just doing it for the money at this point. Like he's the guy who's pretty much like accepted, like I'm just completely sold out. It's like Kimmel's made it personal with people. I think that's the big difference with him versus everybody else.
You know,
I think that's a really good way of putting it.
Speaking of making it personal,
we are going to make it personal, guys. In case, first of all, Timon, take it easy. Good night to you, buddy. But yes, in case you guys didn't know, in service of all this talk of garbage and lies and Disney being stupid, we have finally and on the what do you call it? The pattern of the fact that it's only like 3 days into the year, right? We have this brand new Star Wars news, and this actually didn't even take 3 days to come out. This was a New Year's Eve drop. So, guys, if you don't know, quick backstory, not a big backstory, but we all know that last year they announced that they would be, Lucasfilm announced that they would be producing a new Star Wars film. I believe it's a trilogy or a series, but I think at least right now it's one confirmed film following Rey, everybody's favorite character from the trilogy series or from the sequel series, as she rebuilds the Jedi Order, because, you know, Luke couldn't do it, but the bestest ever will definitely be able to. So the director on this project is a director by the name of, oh my gosh, I will never ever be able to pronounce her name right. It is Charmin Obaid Chinoy. I think it's Obaid Chinoy. I think that's right.
You basically just
So,
go
Chinoy. Yeah, exactly.
Probably just call her Charmin. That's easy.
Charmin. All right, let's go with Charmin. So Charmin's this sort of, what am I trying to say here? So remember how I made mention of, you know, there's a weird pipeline from, you know, no credit TV show writing to getting a giant Disney like production. That's sort of what we're seeing again here. I mean, we saw it with all the She-Hulk people, with Jeff Loveness, with Phoebe Waller-Bridge over at Dial of Destiny, and in Star Wars, we are this. What am I trying to say here? So Charmin's main body of work is she is a feminist activist for her home country of Pakistan, and I make that distinction because when she most of the times when she's talking about, you know, I'm raising awareness, I'm doing activism, it's about like real things like honor killings and acid attacks, and not, you know,
beating women with sticks.
Right. Yeah. Like that kind of stuff. And not, oh, the lady on the McDonald's ad was prettier than me. So like,
yeah,
she's actually,
or Leonardo DiCaprio got paid $5 million more than me.
Oh my God. How could Henry Cavill date somebody who's a legal adult, but is like 4 years younger than him? My God. But so but all that to say is her body of work, this is going to be her first like big Hollywood production. She's had a couple, well, I wouldn't even call it like a couple stints, but she did 2 episodes. She directed 2 episodes of Miss Marvel. She's had some like animation direction work, but she doesn't have a lot. But she is now going to be in charge of, or she's always been in charge of, the Rey film. So obviously, ever since its announcement back at Star Wars Celebration last year, we've heard nothing about the film. We've had, you know, even Daisy Ridley has come out. She gave an interview near the end of last year where she was like, yeah, we're working on it, but I haven't even seen a script. I couldn't tell you what it's going to be about. So they're not making a lot of progress on it. But obviously, you know, it's a great PR move. It's a great, yay, the message, the DEI. So on New Year's Eve, every year, CNN hosts their regular, you know, countdown broadcast. I'm sure a lot of you remember them from years past because it had moments where, like, what's his name? Andy.
Broadcast.
What's his name? Like Andy something. Like these broadcasts
Andy Dick?
are I wish it was Andy Dick. It would have been funnier. But these broadcasts are like notorious for like they're half live show from New York or from Times Square where the anchors are in person talking to people, and half like a pre-recorded interview show sort of thing. So the live sections are always
like Anderson Cooper, right?
Right. Yeah. But like when they're on the ground in Times Square, it happens every year. You can always find like the anchors themselves get completely blasted and they just start making like complete fools of themselves on camera because they're just lit up.
There was at one time Kathy Griffith got naked.
Yeah, that's right. That is right. Oh, okay. I'm ending the show now. I just
nobody wants that site.
Yeah, I got to go have therapy after that. Like I got him. I'm gonna be honest. I'm getting cooked. But during during CNN's broadcast this year, they had a small, quick, brief interview with Charmin, and you know, she gave an interview to an anchor. Her name was Christy Lou Stout, who introduced Charmin as the first woman and first person of color to direct a Star Wars film. Which also like
it sounds like Chat GPT.
It sounds like Chat GPT, but it also is just like it's more of that you're pushing all of like everything has to be a first. You always have to stretch everything you're doing to make this person notable in some way. Like I didn't include it in the article, but the anchor also talks about Charmin's career, and she's like the first woman under the age of 30, or the first woman to win 2 Emmys, maybe was two Emmys or Oscars under the age of 37. And I'm just like, why? What is that arbitrary thing? Why 37? Like, why are we trying to make this special?
They have to pretend like everything that they're doing is historic, so they have to create new BS categories and pretend like, oh, this is the first black one-eyed woman who's ever directed a movie that's less than 90 minutes and so
right, yeah.
They have to just keep making stuff.
She's the first woman to direct a $1 million film that had a Volkswagen branding deal in it. Like that's the kind of crap that they like tout as everything, or like it's monumental. This is why you should care. But funny enough, to your point, Jacob, that is exactly what Charmin did during this interview. So to open the interview, she was asked sort of just, and I'm presuming this because the opening question was cut off by CNN, but she launches into an answer. So presumably she was asked, tell us about Star Wars. Are you excited about it? Like, just what are your thoughts on your upcoming project? And this is what she told CNN's anchor, quote, I'm very thrilled about the project because I think what we are about to create is something very special. And we're in 2024 now. And I think it's about time that we had a woman come forward to shape the story in a galaxy far, far away. Now, of course, like Jacob just pointed out, that's not anything new. No. Like we have had women, like not only have we had female characters, in prominent positions the entire time. You have your Princess Leia's, you have your oh my gosh, Mon Mothma's. Like you have these characters.
And not only that, let's take it even just to the basic level. What the hell have we been doing for the last 10 years with Star Wars? Are you telling us that we're only just now making
that's exactly it. Like we have spent the last 10 years or like the entire time Disney has been under or Star Wars has been under Disney, watching the brand be transformed into a girl story. They're center around girls.
They're propping up Rey as if this isn't her 4th Star Wars movie in the last
That's decade. What's also like, it's like, oh, so now a woman's coming in to guide the story. You mean the woman who had a trilogy that nobody liked, that failed, that almost killed her career? Like, this is what you're all super excited about.
Hey guys, we're bringing back the white woman you rejected 10 years ago, and we're doing 3 more movies with her. And it's going to be even more female centric than before. Like, this isn't even like doubling down. This is like quadrupling down, and then like doing like a touchdown dance in the middle of your control. Like, what are you doing?
Well, like, but it's also like not only is it like what are you doing, but it's also such just like a one of the like what am I trying to say here? It's a lie meant to boost up her profile at the expense of the very real history of the franchise. Like I pointed it out, like she is not yes, she's the first woman to direct a Star Wars film, but we've had like Deborah Chow, we've had Bryce Dallas Howard on the shows. Like this is not a new development. You just have to change the qualification to make it seem that way. And it's bizarre. It's extreme gaslighting. And I don't know, what do you think you're going to get out of this?
I'm just thinking to myself at this point, like, is Kathleen Kennedy like daring Bob Iger to fire her at this point? Because it feels like it's happening now. It's like she's pulling out like Bob Iger's punk card and just like waiting to see if like he's going to like make the call or not. Because I don't see.
I thought she's gone, right?
She's still there.
Filoni run Lucastown?
Is she still there?
No, she's still there. Filoni is under her. So, but he works like he's like the he's like the liaison now. Like she's too busy doing everything, so he works on Star Wars and then brings stuff back to her and then takes it back to the team. He's like the middleman.
Please clap.
Aren't you so excited for Filoni?
Please clap for Dave.
Please clap. I'm going to shoot myself.
But like it's it's insane. Like Jacob said, it's been 10 years of this and it hasn't paid off the dividends they keep thinking are coming. Nobody's going to your theme parks for this. Nobody's buying the new merch. All of the female characters you try to push end up at Ollie's like near immediately. And it's, you know, lots of people have been saying it, but it's like the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. There's just no, again, Jacob, I'm doing the thing where I get like screen lock because I'm trying to apply logic to the situation, and it's
we're
not
trying
there.
to apply logic to stupidity. Like we're trying to reason with stupidity, and we can't do it because our brains just don't work on the same plane as these people do.
Look, no, you got to understand.
They really don't.
You got to understand something that they're doing here, okay? So the biggest thing that a lot of people miss about this, and it goes way above BlackRock even, okay?
Mm-hmm.
What you're looking at is the current male-female demographic, and now we're talking about born male and born female, not people who like to flip and flop on the gender spectrum, if you will. And so you have almost 52%. In fact, by 2025, they predict that 52% of the U.S. population will be female, born female. Okay, that's only going to get worse if we get into an armed conflict. And I don't know about you folks, but that's pretty inevitable at this point.
At this point, it's just deciding where we're going to land.
Right. And so this is what they're looking at, is they're looking at having a female-only audience at some point. Now, you take a look at the demographics in college, they get even worse. In 2020, for every 100 bachelor's degrees given out, 74 were given to women. Okay? Only 19% of college admissions were male in 2020. Okay? So what's going to happen in the next 10 years? That's right. You're going to have a female ruling class. They're going to be the ones with the blue-collar jobs, the ones that are working in the offices, doing the administration, and you'll have a male slave class. And this is what Disney is banking on, is they're trying to create media to support this new world that's going to be born out of this mess that they've created, where you have this matriarchy system. And so they're trying to build the foundations of what that's going to look like to do their fancy predictive programming. That's why Rey is the central point to rebuilding the new Jedi Order, and why her apprentice is a female that's supposedly even stronger than her, because they're trying to show you that the women who sacrificed for you are weaker than you. You are strong because you don't care.
Dude, I'm like, it all makes sense too, especially if you look at the Acolyte, like the next big Star Wars thing. It has been just a like that's all the marketing has been. There are women in this show. Women are writing this show. A woman created this show. Women are directing this show. Women lead. Like that's all the Acolyte has been. More so than we've ever seen before.
Show itself. It's just like
who cares?
Just the women.
Who cares, you bigot? Who cares, you bigot? There's a non-binary trans woman leading it or something. I don't freaking know. You better like it.
That's where you're at now. That's what you're looking at. That's why all this is happening. That's why they're swapping all these male characters over. Because again, evil can't create; it can only corrupt. So that's why they're taking these male icons and making them female, or in He-Man's case, taking his masculinity and quite literally handing it off to his love interest. So this whole situation is in order not just to emasculate men, but it's to show women what their new role in the new world is as the dominant gender, just purely on numbers, and that's what they're doing to them.
I like to me, like I agree, and I can see all that, but what really baffles me is that like women aren't liking this. Like they don't like the fans aren't turning out. It's not just male fans who are rejecting all this stuff. Female fans don't like it either. Obviously, like we have Kate, we have Leslie in here, we have Force of Light all over. We've got Cassie. We've got so many examples, just anecdotally, but also like statistically. So it's just, again, I'm trying to apply the logic, but it's like, wouldn't you just keep on with the things they liked and bank on that? But nope, not going to happen.
Remember, in Disney's banking report, they said they were out of touch with the market, that they were out of step with the market. That they didn't say they were going to correct that.
No,
they said they were. They knew they were. That's all they said. They didn't say this is what we're going to do to stop that. They instead basically laid out a plan to nitro boost it.
Well, it's Oh gosh, what was I going to say? Like you said it right there, and now I completely lost my train of thought. I have no idea what I was going to say. Oh no, I remember now. Like you brought up that really good point about it, and I realized this as I was bringing my last statement to a close. It's like, why are they doing all this? Why? It's that predictive programming, just like you said, where it's like, yeah, we're out of touch with everybody, but that's intentional, and we're not going to stop because we're trying to make that predictive programming. Or yeah, I think I said that right.
Yeah, we're trying to, like I said, that there's a reason why, if you look at next year's Academy Awards, we're legitimately talking about movies like Barbie and Poor Things and The Color Purple winning all of these awards because they all have the exact same message. It's all about the divine female. It's all about feminism. It's all about that fact that, women need to separate themselves from men. They don't need men. Like, all these movies push the exact same message, and this is what Hollywood's going to prop up and celebrate for the next several months. So
weren't you the one who I think you said it during your review show, but didn't you say like The Color Purple is like Super Saiyan level 4 on like misandry or whatever? Like it just hates like men.
Every single man in the movie is a rapist, sexual abuser, physical abuser, a complete and utter coward. Like there's no redeeming men in the film whatsoever. So the whole this is how they have to set up their universe. The only way that their ideology works is that literally every single man has to be terrible. They can't be one good man anywhere in the picture whatsoever. And if he is there, he's dead.
Remember what we learned from the riots in 2020. ACAB. All cops are B words, right?
Yep.
Not corrupt cops
are
B words, right?
Yep. All of them.
It's the blanket labeling that they love to do.
Yeah, that you're not allowed to generalize except when you're generalizing on the left. But
oh yeah,
the eccentric banana asks, when do y'all think we're going to hit the iceberg? And for me, I think it's November.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean for the country? Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a. Or are you talking about like entertainment?
As a species? Oh yeah, like it's over with.
Oh yeah, no, we're fine. We're just hanging out until they kick us out. But I'm with Cider there. I think like if we're talking like country wise, we're gonna get some damage in November. But if we're talking for the sake of this argument, if we're not even talking about like if we leave that out of the equation and we're just looking at like entertainment, if we were to keep on this path, I don't know when the iceberg is, because at this point every warning sign that's gone up, every flare, every person rushing from the front of the cabin to go like, oh, I study ice flows, this is coming, everything has been ignored. Everything has been like purposely like, oh, there is an iceberg in front of us, crash right into that. So
the only way this is all going to end, and look, the only way this is going to end is that Hollywood has to quite literally run out of money. And the only way that's going to happen is that there would have to be like an absolutely catastrophic financial event somewhere in the next couple of years where all of these corporations go like, hey, we were making billions of dollars and now we're several $billion in the black and we can't even sell this property to another corporation to buy our debt because they don't have any money either. So it would literally take just
because it was their debt in the first place 20 years ago.
Yeah, so it would take an absolute, like literally like AOL sold to Time Warner like in 2001 because they were out of money, and here we are in 2024, and now they're trying to sell Warner Media to like Paramount because they're out of money, and they still like 25 years later they still don't have money.
They're just like putting off the bills. They're close the blinds, don't let them know we're home, don't answer the phone.
We've been passing the buck for 2.5 decades.
Yes, that's the term I've been looking for.
Nothing has improved. Nothing.
Disney is the biggest driver in all of this. What you have to understand is that not only are they the heaviest hitters, they're also the ones that set the tone. Being a family brand, everything spirals from them. Action, horror, I'm pretty sure pornography probably comes out of them because of all the porn parodies.
Yep.
So Disney drives a great deal of entertainment in the West, not just the US, a great deal of entertainment in the West. Not even like parodies of their shows or continuations or adaptions or whatever, like actual entertainment that's inspired by like visuals that Disney's experimenting with or whatever. There's a lot of people that credit Disney, The Mandalorian, with a lot of the cinematic things that they've picked up with cinematography. A lot of people have credited them with that stuff, like how to control glare and reflection and helmets and stuff. So again, like these guys, they have to go. That's the biggest linchpin. Now, what we saw last year was the Saudis apparently rumored stepped in and said, we'll buy Star Wars. We don't want anything else. We don't want your crazy little Marvel adventure. We'll buy Star Wars. And Bob Iger said, that's very nice. We like your oil, but you can keep your money. And they didn't sell Star Wars. Now, I don't know about you, but that Star Cruiser hotel is a hole in the ground. Okay?
Yeah.
And it was a prison. They literally said, pay us $5,000 a person to stay in a prison.
Because here's the thing. Like, they're trying to hold off on Saudi just buying everything because, like I said, these corporations are all losing billions upon billions of dollars. They don't know where to get their next amount of billions. The only people with the ridiculous amount of money to just buy them wholesale and not even like matter would be Saudi Arabia. Like, they have a public fund of like $700 billion they can just throw money at. Like, and that's how much.
They kind of already are. Like, we know there's all the like sports deals are going on over there. Wrestling deals are going on over there. Manchester United, the football, like the soccer team, is about to be purchased by a Saudi if it hasn't already. Embracer Group, like, and here's what I'm like. The next example I bring up is just sort of the best example of how much power the Saudis wield with that fund, right? So Embracer Group, it was this sort of and I think it still is. I think it barely still exists, but it was a game development group that all of a sudden in 2020 decided we're going to scoop up everything we can, like every license, every studio, everything. You know, they scooped up developers. They got the full rights, like to the Lord of the Rings, like the books and the Hobbit, like the actual stuff. Like that's what they were buying.
Everything
up.
that Amazon hadn't secured.
Right? Basically. Yeah, all of that stuff. They snatched it up. And it was all done under the pretense that they were going to get an investment injection of like $6 billion from the Saudis and that fund. But then, like just last year, the Saudis went, "We don't want to be in this deal anymore. Bye." And the Saudis didn't care. They were like, "Yeah, we'll eat whatever termination fee, but that's a drop in the bucket." But Embracer is now like scrambling to sell everything. They're shutting everybody down. They're laying off everybody. Like it almost feels like we got trolled.
They got trolled. But yeah, like that is where we are now. And I think who brought it up? Leslie brought it up. This good point. Like here, when BlackRock and Vanguard and the US government stop propping up Hollywood. And I think like that's what I'm more worried about is less the money coming from inside the companies, right? Because obviously it's not there, but it's your BlackRocks, your Blackstones, your Vanguards, all of that stuff, all of those very shady. I don't even know what term to call them, but you guys know what I'm talking about. The WEFers and everything, the WEFers, like that. That is the death cultists that run our countries.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Perfect. But yeah, like that is my main fear with like until they're gone. I don't know how this changes, and I don't know how you bankrupt them.
That's the thing.
That is true.
So I mean, there is a great filter approaching in okay, a great filter is approaching.
So to answer your question, when is this all going to end? Well, the Bible says there's this thing called the tribulation, right? So I hate to break to you, the tribulation is going to be probably the last 7 years of existence. It's not going to be fun for a lot of people, but if you're asking when it's going to end, it'll probably be somewhere around that time period. So, but hey, at least we don't have to deal with Disney Star Wars anymore.
You know that if and when it happens, it'll be like, don't point out the tribulation. Like everybody being worried about the tribulation is the real problem or whatever. Like they're totally going to bring that rhetoric out. I cannot wait.
The rapture never happened.
Yeah, exactly, right. The rapture was aliens. This false Jesus Christ is the real Jesus Christ. The Mahdi is the true God. We all need to worship him. So go get the mark of the beast. It's like I can totally see Jimmy Kimmel, Anderson Cooper, and all the talking heads telling people that during that time. It's going to be a fun time for people who are still here. So,
and what is Jacob talking about? Well, friends, I think you need to check out his Monday Bible Lens podcast.
Yeah.
But to that end, the reason I bring it up is I think that is an excellent place for us to wrap tonight. I know we've gone, we've kept you all here with us for about 30, 40 minutes extra, but I definitely appreciate everybody being here. Like we said, we had just enormous amounts of stuff to cover, from Echo to What If to Jimmy and the lists and Star Wars. Thanks for coming along with the ride. And with that, I'm going to let everybody sort of let you know what's going on, starting with Jacob and his Monday show.
Actually, we're gonna start things off for Friday night. This Friday night on my channel, Society Reviews. You can find it on YouTube. We're gonna be watching Blazing Saddles on YouTube, on X, and on Rumble as well. So we're gonna be watching Blazing Saddles. I know Rob is looking forward to it, and Rob doesn't look forward to a lot of movies in his life. So when he's looking forward to one, it's actually pretty good. So check us out on Friday night, Monday night. So this is what we're gonna do on Monday night for the Bible Ends podcast, because.
I don't know.
You do. On Monday night, so there's this movie coming up produced by Jay-Z called The Book of Clarence. I think we talked about it here on this show a few times, but it's coming out in a couple of weeks. And what I want to do is I want to expose the ideology behind this film, because people are going to look at this thing, oh, this is a Christian film because it's about Jerusalem and Jesus. This film has nothing to do with Christianity whatsoever. I'm going to go ahead and expose the cult behind this, which is the 5% Nation of Islam. And you talk about just a wild, insane, it's like racism, occultism, and just like sheer stupidity all wrapped into one. And they're promoting a movie that's been produced and released by Sony. So we'll talk about that on Monday night on the Bible Ends podcast. Then I have episode 81 of the Barroom coming out next week. Then in 2 weeks, we're doing Echo Mania. We're gonna review all 5 episodes of Echo on the Barroom podcast, a whole 2-hour show dedicated to nothing but Echo. It's going to be great. That's 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up, because I know, guys, I saw a bunch of you in the chat saying, oh man, I can't wait to watch this just for the disaster, for the laughs. If you do, come join us. I'm definitely going to be over there. Like, it's going to be a time. It's going to be absurd. I cannot wait. You thought that fight scene was bad? Like that. Mm-hmm. Imagine what they tried to pull for like in between fight scenes or the final fight scene. Like, I don't know how we go up from there.
It's all
Ecomania. Or what is it? It's like Native Americans and the prosthetic leg, Ecomania. That was a really bad joke. So instead of me trying to recover that joke, I'll toss it over to Cider. Cider, what have you got going on?
Tomorrow night, Stephen Kent will be doing the Sky Talker show here on Bounding into Comics. They'll be covering this news about Rey and a couple of other stories that have burped up since the beginning of the year. So tune in for that. And, of course, don't forget to check out Jacob's show on Rumble, where they'll be watching, or I might be there too. I don't know. It depends on how high I get. I don't know. But for Blazing Saddle.
I mean, you kind of, it's in the name. You've got to be very high for it. But yes, and as for me, guys, again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Get it? Dave's not here, man. But yeah, I want to thank everybody for stopping in tonight. It was a blast. I saw the viewer counts. I know we had a lot of you with us constantly throughout the night. It means the world to us. You guys rule. We couldn't be able to do what we do here without your guys' support, your readership, your viewership. So thank you. As always, you can check out boundingintocomics.com daily for your dose of nerd news, call outs, all that fun stuff. I have a lot of articles to post as soon as we're off tonight, so there's going to be more coming. As always, you can check us out next week, same bat time, same bat channel for another episode of 01. And as for me, if you want to see more of me personally, you can check out my YouTube channel at Studio Kabuto, where I host a live stream every Friday where we deep dive into more weeby topics like anime, toku, video games, stuff you might not get around the sphere. So if that interests you, come check it out. And with that, I think we will see you guys next week.
All right then. See you later.
Take it.